All right, back again once again. Episode 14 this week.
14.
The first week of the NFL season is in the books, which I've been thinking about this all week. It's kind of unfortunate that we're going to record on Saturday. We might get the episode out, if I'm lucky, on Sunday during week 2. So everything we talk about is a week behind.
I mean, we're going to be a week behind, but it's fine. It's better than...
And technically, week 2's already started.
It's better than 2 weeks behind, you know?
I guess.
I'll be honest, who played last night? Or Thursday?
Tampa Bay and Carolina. You didn't see it?
No.
I'll talk about it, because, oof, it was ugly.
Good.
As you can imagine. So, usually, we'll start with corrections, because it is compensatory draft. We couldn't say that last week. It is compensatory draft. I looked it up. Usually I start with a fun fact, but the fun fact will have to wait. So, this week, there will be no bashing of Skip Bayless.
So we just end it right now.
Because everything he said was damn near correct. So there's not going to be any bullshit Skip Bayless says this week. However, if we were bashing Skip Bayless, I would point out something like he said LeBron James isn't a top 10 player this year.
So you just want to reiterate things we've already said?
Nope. That's he said that.
He said it again?
No, he said that this week. But we're not bashing him. We're not bashing him.
Skip, I'm gonna need you to go back to messing up.
Nope.
Because
I don't know what we're going to talk about if you don't mess up. But if he also this before Thursday's game, this was more of a flub, but he didn't flub because he skipped Bayless this week. But he did say if you had to pick between Jameis Winston and Cam Newton, who would you pick?
Cam Newton.
Yeah, he said Jameis. Really, but
the only way I'm picking.
Nope, he's right. He is right this week. We're not bashing Skip Bayless this week.
The only way I'm picking Jameis is if I want some free crab legs.
Got him. Anyway, so just for the clear, we're not bashing Skip Bayless, but fun fact. Well, we're going to talk about the Mets and then my fun fact. So the Mets on September 11th won the game by getting 9 hits and scoring 11 runs.
That's creepy.
At home.
That's really creepy.
So that's that sports thing we were talking about.
You know, one of the best moments in baseball ever was when George Bush went out through that pitch.
Yep.
It still gives me goosebumps watching him go out there. Which, by the way, can we talk about how it was right down the middle?
But he played baseball. He was
but
a baseball
still,
kid.
That's a hard pitch with everyone watching.
Can we talk about why is the first pitch so hard? It's just a pitch.
No, because it's nerves, and if you've never thrown off a mound before.
No, but I bet I could.
I'm telling you,
I promise you, I could do it.
So if you throw it regularly, sure. But some people get all fancy with it. And
I'm not going to throw it like it's a pitch.
That's what the problem. People try to do that, and the windup is very different.
Because there's a bump?
Yeah. All right, so it's kind of different. All right, so when I played 2 years of baseball.
Sure. I've never done that. So.
I played shortstop, right? And I had a really good arm. Not to pat myself on the back. But it was minor league, so I could make it from shortstop to first base, which considered me a good arm. So next year, he wanted me to be a pitcher. And I tell you, when you go from shortstop to first, so much easier than from the mound.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying pitching's easy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying throwing one pitch to the guy sitting there.
You're right, yeah. But I'm saying it's the pressure. Plus, I think some people think it's a lot. They think it's a joke like that, and then they go out there and, this is going to be easy. And then you 50 cent it.
Okay, but see, that's one thing. 50 Cent's like an athlete.
What's he play?
I think he played football.
No, he just works out.
That's fine.
Whatever.
You should be able to use the muscles for something.
You would think, right?
So, if I jump into this fun fact, we're going to start into the topics. So, do you have something? You said you wanted to try something.
I wanted to start doing sports would you rathers.
Let's
try to off the top. So I got a big list here. I'm going to just do one every week.
That's fine.
Would you rather be a star of a bad team or an average player on an elite team?
So, are you talking winning championships or being the best player on the team, right?
And it just says elite team. It doesn't say anything about winning championships. So would you rather be on the best player on the Dolphins or
who requested a trade, by the way?
Yeah, I saw that. Minka Fitzpatrick. Yeah. We're going to talk about that.
We're going to talk about the Dolphins.
San Francisco. or a third wide receiver on Philly.
For example, I myself was an average player on a good team. So
not in my heart. In my heart, you were great.
Well, thank you. But I think I'd rather be average because having the team get success, I'm cool with.
Which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. I agree with you. I would much rather be a part of a...
Right?
My ego doesn't need to be stroked that much.
I mean, of course you want to be good.
Yeah,
but if the
but if that
difference
means
is being good and my team being bad, it's not worth it to me.
Well, it's the difference between being Andre Iguodala. I'm not saying he's average, but
He's average.
He wasn't the best player on the Golden State Warriors, or being I don't know,
Blake Griffin on the Pistons.
Yeah,
like they're
or Carmelo
on the Knicks.
Not Nuggets Carmelo, Knicks Carmelo,
or LeBron on the Cavs.
Yeah, but he transcended it.
Only because he was so good that he made the team. He brought the team to the playoffs. But that was a terrible team. We can admit.
Oh, that team that went to the finals against the Spurs.
Awful.
Yeah, it was god awful.
They had a guy named Booby, and he was one of their stars.
And he was good from deep though.
Yeah, he was a sniper.
So what's up with point guards playing with LeBron? You had him. You had Chalmers.
Yeah.
You had Norris Cole.
Yeah. Kyrie.
That's because you forget that. No, Kyrie's different. He could create his own shot. Mario Chalmers, Norris Cole weren't creating their own shot. Booby, a grown man went by Booby Gibson.
His grandma called him Booby as a kid. It stuck, and he just went with it.
That's terrible.
Well, his grandma gave him the nickname.
Well, it was terrible.
Fun fact. So, one quarterback in NFL history has had the stat line 17 of 20, 324 yards, and 5 touchdowns, and a perfect passer rating.
Was it Lamar last week?
It was freaking Lamar Jackson against the Dolphins, but he can't throw, so it's fine. Now, I will substitute.
Hey, he's just a running back.
It's true. But he even said after the press conference, did you see that? In the press conference after the game, they're like, so, Lamar, you said you were going to throw the ball. It looks like you did that today. And he was like, I guess you could say that. It was pretty good for a running back, right? I was like, oh! I like that. I love it, Lamar.
Taking that criticism and flipping it on its head.
And now I will preface this by saying the Dolphins are a JV team, and that's fine.
Yeah, but that
they're still NFL players.
And he still came out and played well.
Yep.
He didn't play down to his competition, which something like the Warriors typically do. You forget you play down to your competition.
And if you watch the game, he made big time throws. He made accurate throws. He only had 3 incompletions, but I think it was like happened to be well defended. Like he wasn't missing passes. 2 tight ends. He was 10 for 10.
Hollywood Brown
is a freak.
Can we talk about?
I was telling you about this dude
when they picked him up. I was like, that's such a good pickup for Lamar. You need for a young quarterback to get a young wide receiver. That's crazy because look, they could play 10.
He's not
10
even
to 12
the only
years
young receiver
together.
They got. They got Miles Boykin from Notre Dame.
But I'm saying, like, well, who cares? I'm saying, what did he do last week?
Look, because Hollywood Brown.
You hear the crickets?
He caught a touchdown pass.
Did he?
Yeah. Also, here's the thing.
Was it one in garbage time?
An example. No. The whole game was garbage time.
That's
first
right.
Of all. Second of all, speaking of garbage time, remind me to come back to that. So, for example, Hollywood Brown is your Deshaun Jackson game breaker deep threat. Miles Boykin is your 6'4", I don't have a super accurate quarterback, I need a jump ball in the end zone, go get it guy. He's your red zone guy.
But Lamar's accurate, though.
He's not inaccurate, but he's not Drew Brees.
He's one of those guys that you don't have to be, is what you're
Miles
saying.
Boykin
Throw it in the area.
You put it in the area, and he can make the play.
Speaking of...
And he ran 4.34 at 6'5".
Young wide receivers that everyone slept on. DK Metcalf.
Nobody slept on DK.
Yes, they did. Why did he slide so far, then?
Oh, because he was in, I don't know, injury concerns?
Listen,
I was a DK Metcalf stan, first of all.
When San Francisco let him slide down not once but twice.
Bro, did you see him go over the DB and catch that ball?
I know I sound like I want everyone to play for San Francisco. But it's because I do.
Yeah, but he does.
Because I'm tired of sucking. Look, they got, Debo Samuel.
Yeah, him too.
He's all right.
He was actually higher rated than DK.
And what's he doing this year?
I don't know. Ask fucking Jimmy.
Nothing. Because Jimmy, look, if it's not Kittle, nobody's catching a pass.
No, listen. First of all, we'll talk about your team later. We're going to talk about your team in a minute.
Oh, we can, because how did my defense outscore your offense?
We'll talk about that. No, it was because you're playing Jameis Winston, not because...
God, those were some terrible throws.
But we'll come back. Listen, we'll come back. We're going to talk about all the games. Right. We got to go back to, first, the Dolphins game. Lamar Jackson is the GOAT. No, that's not true. But you know what? I'm going to call this Overreaction Monday. Okay? We're going to overreact Monday. It's Saturday. We're going to overreact to everything we saw week 1. Lamar Jackson is the first or second best quarterback in the NFL.
Are we turning up Skip Bayless? Is that what we're doing?
Oh yeah, we have to.
He didn't mess up this week, so we got to overcompensate.
Yeah.
All right.
So the Dolphins are terrible, and remember,
Dolphins are going to go 1-15 this year.
They might go over, dog.
I'm always very hesitant on saying Ofer because there was a few that
the Dolphins did it once, 15-1.
Yeah, but you mean 1-15?
Yeah. What did I say?
15-1.
They're
not going 15-1.
They absolutely are not going 15-1. If they turned it around.
So,
bro, the Dolphins put up 56 points in a regulation game against NFL players. It was fantastic. The only thing that makes me sad is that because of our time zone, I had to watch the shitty Minnesota Falcons game.
Right.
So I didn't even get to watch it with my eyes. I had to watch all the highlights. But this week, the Ravens and the Cardinals play in Baltimore. I'm so excited. Please, CBS, please put it on my channel. Because I will watch the whole game. I won't even stop.
Two of the most exciting quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give Kyler a minute before I say that because I mean he played hella well.
We're going to talk about Kyler. So the Dolphins, we talked about the Dolphins game. I'm sorry, I said 56. Well, it's 59.
Since we're still, why don't we just talk about the Minkah Fitzpatrick,
their first round draft pick from last year?
Did he demand a trade? Because I've seen demanded a trade. I've seen giving him permission to seek a trade.
He was given permission to seek a trade. They're like, look, you're too good for this. We know we can get stuff back for you.
So I heard before the whole Laramie Tunsil thing went down, I heard that if you trade Laramie Tunsil, people are going to start wanting to jump ship.
Right, because they're tanking. They're trying to suck.
And if you're going to do that, that's fine, but you also need to realize the more pieces you trade, the longer it's going to take for you to rebuild.
I mean, but they're going to rebuild through the draft. And if they get a good pick,
you can do that,
the quarterback.
You can't. That's stupid. I hate when teams do that.
I agree. It is stupid.
The first thing, if I'm a GM tomorrow, which by the way, NFL, I take calls 24/7.
I'm with you, but
you build your defense first, you build your offensive line first, then you take a quarterback. Because then, if he doesn't pan out, you're not. Oh crap! Now we got to get back in, and then we got to get another quarterback. Whereas me, I would build my defense, and then I would build my offensive line. That way, you can literally clock it. You can go out there and be a game manager, and slowly but surely we'll hand you the reins and let you do this thing.
There's examples of this in the NFL for both examples.
Yeah,
Example 1, the Dallas Cowboys. They drafted the best offensive line in the NFL, Tony Romo was there. But then they drafted Dak, and Dak was able to step in.
They learned their lesson with Romo.
Right, because they realized, and then drafted the line around Romo.
They realized
it was too late.
If we don't protect this guy,
right?
They realized it too late because at the end, I was never a Romo fan,
never.
But at the end, it was just so clear that he couldn't.
He is underrated, though.
Yeah, I would definitely put him in the upper 16 starting quarterbacks.
When he was
in his but as long as he didn't have to hold the snap for a kick.
I haven't one time.
Yeah, well, I'll never let it go. I'm one of those people. I guess I don't know if I'm old school about it, but
there's also examples of for a perfect example is Indianapolis. They draft Andrew Luck and didn't draft an offensive line until he was already injured and in pain.
So did that GM that was there?
Yeah, he was fired.
No, is he anywhere? Does he have a job anywhere?
No.
I hope not, because that guy literally took Andrew Luck's career and just squished it.
Yeah, 100%.
Andrew Luck's early retirement is strictly on that guy.
Absolutely.
We're going to have to do corrections because I don't.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up next week.
I don't know what his name is.
So
but
we
I hope
talked
he
about
doesn't
the
have a
Dolphins
job.
Getting destroyed by the Ravens. Next, we're going to talk about my second favorite game of the week, which I actually got to watch almost the whole game: Cardinals versus Lions. So the Arizona.
Before you go,
yeah.
Can I tell you how mad I am that I started Baker Mayfield over Kyler in fantasy?
We'll talk about that. Do I have the Browns on here? I do. Okay, so we'll talk about the Browns, but first we're talking about the Cardinals. So, for the first 3 quarters, that was the worst offense I've ever seen played in my entire life.
You were texting me telling me that Kyler looked horrible.
Awful. God-awful. Going into the 4th quarter, he was like 9 of 27 for like, I want to say 50 yards maybe. The team had scored 6 points going into the 4th quarter. The Lions looked like world beaters. They were up 24-6 going, or was it 24-6? Yeah, 24-6 going into the 4th quarter. And then this little bastard, I swear to goodness. So they kicked a field goal. So it was 24-9. The Lions don't do anything with it, and the Cardinals go down and score a touchdown. No big deal. There's like 6 minutes left in the game. I'm like, it's still over. I'm sitting. Listen, my wife specifically said you need to tell the podcast this because I was right. I was like, oh my god. Okay, we're sitting watching the game. They score a meaningless touchdown. They go, what's 7 plus 9? 16? 16 to 24. And she said the Cardinals are going to come back. I was like, no, they're not. She's like, that little Kyler's going to do it. He's going to lead them back. I'm like, okay, whatever you say. When I tell you he led them down the field on 2 more drives he scored a touchdown, got the 2-point conversion to tie it at 24. Then it went to overtime. His coach, they get the ball, and Kyler throws a beautiful, it's like a 45-yard corner route to Larry Fitzgerald. He catches it. They go down the field. It's 4th. Okay, so let me ask you, I think I know what you would do, but I want to hear your opinion. 4th down at the 15-yard line. 4th and 8.
I'm kicking a field goal.
You're not going to go for the win?
No.
Why?
Because I don't trust Matthew Stafford to do anything but...
And then he drove down the field and tied the game, and you ended the game in a tie.
You tied anyway.
But you wouldn't have if you... But how do you know if you go for the win? You always go for the win. Tying is the worst.
No. Well, I'm going to talk about that. The fact that you can still tie in the NFL is ridiculous. I hate it.
So why play for the tie?
I'm saying I hate the NFL's overtime rule still.
But they're better.
No. Just add another quarter. You're the only sport that doesn't add another quarter. Baseball, you add another inning. Basketball, you add another quarter.
But it's only 5 minutes.
I don't care. Add a whole another quarter.
You can't have another 15-minute overtime.
Then 10. 7.5. I don't care what you do.
I agree that both offense and defense should touch the field.
There's no reason that in the NFL today that there should be a team that's 0-1.
But there is.
But it's ridiculous.
Okay, fine. But
hockey doesn't have ties anymore.
Listen, my question to you is why your quarterback that you trust and you believe in is going on a roll. He has been tearing it up. He gets you down to this position.
Did they kick a field? Arizona kicked the field goal?
They took the ball out of his hands, and he was visibly upset.
Here's the thing.
And my wife was like, "Why didn't they go for it?"
If he hit a 45-yard dot, I'd have let him go for it. Worst case scenario, you turn the ball over.
But your defense had been stepped up and played well in the 4th quarter.
Right.
You shouldn't. I mean, if you go for it, they have a longer field.
You have momentum.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even if it's only 10 more yards, if you don't get it, they get the ball in the 15 as opposed to the 25. Like, 10 yards makes a difference in overtime. And the Lions kicked the field goal, and then both teams didn't do shit with it.
I hate ties. Ties are they make the NFL look boring.
And the Lions had a chance to win the game with a minute and a half left, a minute and 20 seconds maybe. They had the ball 4th and 1. They snap the ball, and it's a play fake, and they pitch it to the running back, and there's not a single Arizona defender on that side of the field. He's going down to score a touchdown and end the game. But the Lions' defensive coordinator told the head coach to call the timeout, and he didn't know what was wrong, so he called the timeout and cost them the play. And it was like either a timeout they didn't have, or they had to give him the timeout or something, but it ended up that Arizona got the ball back and drove down to kick a field goal to send to overtime. It was crazy. Like, the head coach cost them the game. Just because he called the timeout, he didn't need to. So, the Lions are terrible, and Kyler Murray actually looks like a real NFL quarterback for a quarter and a half. Because the rest of the game, he was terrible. He got sacked by one of his own offensive linemen. He was rolling out, and the offensive lineman had let the defensive lineman go, and he ran at the defensive lineman to try to block him, and the quarterback is running at him, and he just jumped and just pancaked Kyler. It was awesome. Anyway, the Cardinals looked terrible for a long time, and then Kyler Murray turned into Superman, so Skip was right on the line.
Superman's a bit of a stretch.
Okay, yeah, that was a stretch. So, next game I watched was the Vikings and the Falcons. Now, this game was... I don't care about either team, to be 100% honest with you.
You don't dislike the Vikings just a little bit?
I hate them, so I wanted the Falcons to win. But the problem I have is the Vikings ran roughshod. Dalvin Cook, like Dalvin Cook from Florida State, he's finally 100% healthy. He had like 103 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I love it when these guys bounce back like that.
Bro, he was running people over. I didn't know he had that kind of... He was trucking linebackers. I was like, bro.
He's been a pretty beefy guy.
So if I told you the Vikings won the game, how do you think Kirk Cousins did?
Do you want me in my honest opinion, or you want like...
I want you...
Average at best.
Average at best?
Yeah.
Would you believe he only threw the ball 10 times?
Oh, yeah.
For 8 completions.
Yeah.
He had 98 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, you know why? Because Kirk Cousins is awful.
They were like, listen, Kirk...
Minnesota finally gets it. They're like, oh, gosh, we overpaid this
But the Vikings defense looked
Burning
fierce,
garbage.
which I think it's more a testament to the Falcons know what they're doing. Like Julio Jones had like 2
They
targets.
kind of fell apart after they went to the Super Bowl.
After Bill Belichick you know what he did to him.
Oh yeah.
And they're folded, man, like a pancake. They're done.
Yeah, they're done. Trade Julio.
I'll take him.
Trade.
Listen, if Mitch can't complete passes to Julio, it's time to get a new quarterback.
If anybody can't.
Like really.
Hey, do you know who the backup quarterback in Atlanta is right now?
Yeah.
Matt Schaub.
Yeah.
He's still in the NFL?
Absolutely.
How?
They're paying him royalty checks.
Yeah.
Listen, we got to go back to the Dolphins game real quick. So if you guys remember, once the preseason, week 1, I was telling you people to watch out for, right? One of the Dolphins, Preston Williams, he's a wide receiver. Now granted the Dolphins were terrible, but he scored their only touchdown. He had a touchdown reception for like 20 yards. Toe tap in the back of the end zone, just like I told you to watch out for him in preseason.
Fitzpatrick?
Yeah. Fitztragic, sir.
By the way, did you see Nick Foles is already done in Jacksonville?
Dog, I got the games. We got a list, dog.
I know. I just remembered. Since we were talking about overrated quarterbacks.
Well, just trust. Just trust.
So how long does Miami give before they put Rosen in?
Why put Rosen behind that offensive line?
True. Maybe that's why they.
No, actually, here's why. Rosen came in. He had 3 pass attempts and an interception.
So maybe Arizona knew more than what we were talking about.
Maybe.
I don't know. I give him a couple years.
The Vikings, man, look really good, dog. I hope that running game does not do that against Chicago because they literally didn't have to throw. They had Dalvin Cook and they had Latavius Murray still playing.
There's no way. Not against that Chicago front, dog.
But the problem is that Chicago still has to play offense.
It was true, but look, it was a shootout to the end because that defense. That is it.
Absolutely.
They shot an Aaron Rodgers-led offense down to 10 points.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay, so I don't really care about that, but the next game is the one you were talking about. So the Titans destroyed Cleveland 43-13.
Baker looked awful.
Well, here's the thing. With 17 minutes left in the game, it was 15-13 Titans. 17 minutes, they scored 30 points.
What happened?
So, I guess...
Did Baker throw all of his picks in the end?
He threw all of his picks in the last 17 minutes. One of them was a pick 6, and the way I understand it, because I didn't get to see the game...
Neither did
I apologize for that my brain stopped for a second. So, the first drive of the game, the Browns go down and score a touchdown. Nope, I'm not going to call it out. The Browns go score a touchdown. They don't score again until midway through the third quarter. They drive down the field. They make it 13-15. The next play, Derrick Henry takes a screen 75 yards for a touchdown. The play after that, Baker throws an interception. They score. The play after that, Baker throws a pick 6. The play after that, Baker throws another interception.
So he threw back-to-back-to-back picks.
Yeah. I mean, in consecutive drives, not plays.
But yeah, I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the wheels just fell off from there. Also about the Browns.
Yeah, I was going to say, are we going to talk about...
So Odell Beckham, there was a huge debate about this. People lost their shit. Chris Carter, go look at Chris Carter and Nick Wright argue about this. They were actually, like... I know they don't have a debate show like Skip and...
So Chris Carter obviously took... Did he take Odell's side?
No.
Whoa, okay.
Totally 100% the exact opposite.
You know why I said that? Because normally wide receivers, they take the side of wide receivers. But Chris Carter was never a drama queen.
No, but he played with one.
Oh, he did. So he knows up and person.
So the way I understand it, let me explain the facts. First fact, Odell Beckham Jr. went on the field in a watch that cost...
$350,000.
I've heard $350. I've heard $250. Let's say $300,000. So the price of a whole ass house is on his wrist.
Some houses you could buy like 8 of those houses.
Right. It's Richard Mille. It's a super high end fancy watch. He claims he can wear it because it's not metal. The NFL has a ban on hard objects, but it's plastic.
You won't be able to use it.
So he says he can wear it. Nobody questioned him during the game. He expects to be fined for it, but he's like, look. It's technically not breaking the rules. But Chris Carter was like, that shit's a distraction as hell. Because you go on the field with that shit, and what is the media talking about? Your stupid ass watch. And you said that you're going to continue to wear it, and you're causing strife in the locker room because all these assholes got to answer questions about your dumb watch. And it's not a team, that's a me thing. And it's a team game. It's the ultimate team sport. And you're being me, and that's bad for the locker room.
Yeah, that's also, you just described Odell Beckham Jr. as a person.
Well,
when has he ever been team oriented?
But that's what he's saying. He's like, don't do it. He's like, and he said, you're stupid proposing the kicking net. You went to Miami before a playoff game. You know, you've got all these things about you, and you could turn that shit around. But instead, you just keep making it about you.
Again, it's another issue where you put yourself before the team.
And the other, I don't remember her name. I apologize, but the other lady on the show, who's the moderator, agreed with Chris Carter. She's like, that shit's stupid. Like, why would you...
I don't see any other argument. There's no argument to that.
Nick Wright is like, but it's a watch.
I don't care.
But it's a watch, though.
If they tell you to take it off, take it off.
If they tell you to take it off.
So...
But if they don't...
Speaking of that, that's like one of my 3 notes I have in here. Oh. Did you hear Warren Sapp?
No.
You didn't hear Warren Sapp?
No. Oh. What'd he do?
He said, and I quote, "You can't wear a $350,000 watch and play like a $2 bill."
Fucking facts. Absolutely, Warren Sapp gets a gold medal.
So, because he didn't do shit that game, right?
He had 7 for 70. Which isn't bad. That's 10 yards
not
to catch.
Bad. But did you score any touchdowns?
No.
Then what are they paying you for?
But here's the thing.
To wear a watch. Oh.
So here's the other thing. I think Nick Wright said it during his argument, but he was like, so what about this? What if that he was going to take it off? He wore it for one game, but then the Browns go out and get murked. And the coach is like, hey, tell him you're going to keep wearing the watch. So we don't have to answer questions about how shitty we looked. They're only talking about Odell. That's big brain. That's like super fat brain. Like,
yeah, but he's a college coach. That's not the case.
College coach? He's never been a head coach in his life.
He came from college, though, right?
No, he was on their staff last year. He was a running backs coach last year, promoted to offensive coordinator, promoted to head coach.
Either way, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not smart enough. And that is a terrible head coach for that team. You know who they need? They need an older guy to come in there and rein everybody in.
Yeah. But see, here's the
problem. How much would it take to get Bill Cowher to come down? Pay him John Gruden money.
Do you know why you don't have enough? Because he's not going to go coach against the Steelers.
Why not?
Because he loves them.
That's true.
They're his baby. The Steelers have had 3 coaches. That's so crazy. Great mind thing I like, by the way. But anyway, the Browns did look, after all that preseason hype, they looked terrible.
Here's the problem. Underneath them.
I forgot all about this, right? But do you know how the Browns got Olivia Vernon?
Yeah, they traded
their second best offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Do you know Baker was running for his life?
I thought
the
it was
only
a
reason
huge
it was
mistake.
15-3 is because he got sacked in the end zone.
I think it was a huge mistake.
You don't trade offensive linemen.
Why did you need him? You know, I mean, yeah.
But Olivia Vernon is really good, so I'm
not saying he's not.
That. But
you didn't. You need offensive linemen to protect a quarterback you took number 1 last year.
See, we talked about this earlier. You got to protect your assets. The quarterback is your number 1 asset, and Baker looks really damn good.
What has Cleveland's problem been in the last 15, 20 years?
Quarterback.
You finally got one that at least can play the position, right?
Yeah.
Why in the fuck would you not protect this guy?
No, not only would you not protect him, you took his protection and shipped it out the door.
For a defensive lineman, which, by the way, you have a freak on the other side.
Yeah. 2, they got Sheldon Richardson.
But he plays tackle, though.
Yeah.
But still,
Myles Garrett, that defense was playing really well.
Yeah.
It was only 15-13. Your offense was playing like
this is literally a Chicago over again.
The only reason the score got out of hand...
Obviously, I don't want to put Cleveland's defense in the same realm, but
I mean,
your defense can only play as well as your offense is allowing.
They've been on the field for so long, they get tired. They give up one fluke play and it falls apart. Not a fluke because Derrick Henry does that shit, but you know what I mean.
It's the one Alabama running back in a while.
In a minute.
Since
T.J. Yeldon hangs on. Mark Ingram, he played really well too.
But I'm saying, since him, that's it.
Derrick Henry's a baller. Did you know he led the NFL last year in rushing for the last 5 weeks?
No, I didn't.
Fun fact.
I'm glad you wanted to talk about Cleveland because I hope
you started Baker. That sucks.
I hope you didn't. I was glad you didn't hear that Warren Sapp comment.
No, I didn't. That's fantastic.
I was like, oh,
he didn't play. He didn't play bad. He just didn't play good enough to wear a $300,000 watch.
You know who else had 7 catches for 70+ yards? Allen Robinson.
But
would you put them two in the same league?
No.
Okay then.
You're right. He played pedestrian for sure. Just definitely not good enough for a $250,000 or $300,000 watch. So up next, I want to talk about
Oh, gosh.
The Patriots.
Yeah.
So they came out and absolutely...
It was good to see Josh Gordon score a touchdown again, though.
Bro, and it was a good touchdown, too. He's running people over.
Why does it look like he hasn't missed a step at all?
He still looks slow, bro.
But he still was out there making moves and scored a touchdown.
He did make some
he
was breaking tackles. I was watching the game, I was like, oh.
Without his rack, he doesn't score that touchdown.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't...
I do want to say, I saw Tom Brady throw the ball down the field.
All right, can we take a
He threw it down the field, though.
Can we take a sidestep away from the game and talk about the big, huge thing that happened this week with the Patriots?
We will.
Specifically, a player that plays for the Patriots now?
We will talk about it. Let's talk about the game first. After the game stuff, after the game. So, the Patriots mollywopped them. I know I said that already, but the final score was 33-3.
People had the Pittsburgh Steelers going to the Super Bowl.
To be fair...
No, to be fair.
They've never beat the Patriots in New England, ever. Well, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick
if you're going to go to the Super Bowl,
yes,
you kind of have to.
I am well aware. I'm just saying that it's the monkeys on their back still.
Okay, so remember the conversation that we had before the year about how you said that Juju Smith-Schuster was good.
Yeah, he played fine.
Did he? How many touchdowns did they score?
Okay.
Was it none?
So that's all on Juju.
If you're gonna be that next level wide receiver, you kind of have to show up a little bit.
He was the only receiver that was productive.
No.
Yes. And, okay, how about this? Remember James Conner? Oh, we don't need Le'Veon Bell. We got James Conner. He had 10 carries for 21 yards. Tell me more.
I said it last year. That was a fluke.
Tell me more. I'm just saying.
But
don't call
Pittsburgh.
out.
Pittsburgh has a damn good offensive line.
And he had 21 yards rushing.
And exactly. So I think last year, it's Bill Belichick.
Okay, so
he knows you're going to come out and try to do some dumb shit.
Is it a product of the Steelers not being very good or Bill Belichick being really great?
You know how much I hate that he's the greatest NFL coach of all time?
He is absolutely the greatest head coach of all time. It's not even close.
So
you can argue Bill Walsh, maybe.
You know who I hate? Speaking of greatest head coaches, we'll come back to NFL. No, I don't. Who do you consider the greatest NBA coach of all time? Don't you say it. Don't say it.
You're not...
I will tell you this. I do definitely don't think it's Phil Jackson.
No, I don't think it's Phil Jackson. He's the most accomplished.
Yeah, but of course you are.
Because you had Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan.
Not only do you have the two best shooting guards of all time, you also have two of the best duos of all time that won you 9 of your 11 championships.
You also happened... Now, maybe this is happenstance. Maybe this is the way you planned it. But you had the only 2 players who wanted to run the triangle offense. Your system happened to fit the players you had.
That's the argument that I hate. A lot of people say that, well, the triangle works. Yeah, of course the triangle works. We have Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal in it.
Like, yeah, no shit.
Any game plan's going to work. You got Shaq in it.
Greatest head coach in the NBA. Who's yours?
Pop.
That's the one. It's Pop.
It's Pop, right?
It's absolutely Pop. It's not even a question.
And the reason I say it's Pop is because aside from Tim Duncan, Kawhi kinda, he never really had like
the Admiral.
Yeah, but how long was he there when the Admiral was there, though? I really don't know.
Right?
Was he? I don't know.
I don't know when he.
I don't know how long Pop's been there.
But like forever and a day.
So
I think it's like
so
25 years.
So he's had 2 then, because I don't really count Kawhi, because Kawhi didn't really blow up until he went to Toronto.
Right. We're not.
And he won 5 championships with 2 Hall of Famers, really.
No,
2 real Hall of Famers.
Because Tony Parker and Monty were getting in.
Real Hall of Famers, because the NBA. The Basketball Hall of Fame is a freaking joke. But, by the way, I don't like that Dennis Rodman still isn't in. You let Yao Ming in, but arguably one of the greatest players of all time. You could put Rodman up there, at least in the top 50, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't a great scorer,
it depends on what you value in a player.
You know how you argue LeBron could be MVP every year?
Yes.
Rodman could have been Defensive Player of the Year every year.
I agree.
And I agree. Screw that. The greatest rebounder of all time.
Absolutely.
6'9", but he was out there out-rebounding everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
How is he not in the Hall of Fame?
Hey, Doug, did you know he was... Totally.
Is it because he married himself?
That is a problem. But, totally doesn't matter. I don't care. Did you know he was gay? It came out as gay?
I don't care.
I don't care. I didn't know.
You also know that he married prime Carmen Electra for like 90 days? You know what Carmen Electra looked like in the 90s?
Yeah, I do. And Dolly Parton, or the other famous singer, blonde lady... Help me out. Not Dolly Parton. Marilyn Monroe?
Okay, first of all, Marilyn Monroe died in the 60s.
Okay,
that's not possible.
There was somebody else in the 90s. He was.
Or was she murdered? We can get back. We can get on this all day.
No, we can't because I don't know anything about her. Anyway, but I didn't know that, and good for Des Rodman. I guess I didn't know he came out like that, but good for him. Anyway, totally aside.
Why did it take him so long? We all already knew.
That's the thing.
It's
right?
like one of those. I think everybody had one kid in high school.
Yeah.
That, like when he came out, you were like, yeah, dude, we knew since like 6th grade.
So we'll keep talking about the Sunday night games. Or the Sunday games. Let's go talk about those 49ers. So the 49ers, they won 31-17. Sounds really good. They had 2 pick sixes. And Jimmy Garoppolo was 18 for 27, 166 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Do you know that without those 2 pick sixes, you...
Yeah, I know. But I never said our offense was great. Hey, but you know what? Whose team started 0-1 and whose team started 1-0?
You got to play Jameis Winston.
Doesn't matter. We won. So anyway, did you see those pick sixes?
They were horrible.
God damn. So let's talk about Jameis. I know that he won on Thursday, right?
He won on Thursday. We'll talk about the Thursday night game in a minute.
This is it, right?
He has a whole season to
So
prove
if
it.
he doesn't play that well this year, which it doesn't really appear to me that he is.
I agree.
He's a backup next year. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And
unless he goes to place with the Dolphins.
who would you rather have? Let's play another would you rather.
Right.
Who would you rather have, him or Mariota?
Mariota. I want Mariota come in. No, I didn't.
Can I not take either?
Hey, look, I'll put my punter at quarterback.
He's another one. I think he's done after this
Mariota?
year. Yeah.
He has a season to prove it.
He can't stay healthy, and when he is in the game, And you're in that division where, like, now Peyton's gone, okay? It's open. It's open.
So
Jacksonville? Well, kind of.
No.
Houston?
Yes. Houston's a real team.
Tennessee?
They're terrible.
Indy's gonna.
They showed up and showed out against the Cardinals, though. Did you see Malik Hooker?
I don't want to talk about that catch.
Bro, unbelievable.
I want that man tested for stickum. You can't go out there one-handed grab it as a safety.
Not only do you one-handed grab it, it almost looked like he was just trying to bat it down, and he just happened to get there. It was unbelievable.
So funny story. When we'll get back to this in a minute. I was playing pickup football. Obviously, I didn't.
Yes.
And one of the guys I played with, he had an interception where he literally caught it behind his back.
On purpose?
No.
It just landed there?
Like he bobbled it and then he caught it and went out of... Like, toe tapped it, which was impressive. So I've seen some crazy stuff. Pickup football is probably better than the NFL. Because it's a bunch of guys who are just so-so. So when something happens...
I played pickup football one time. It was flag football. And I never got the ball not once.
I'd have threw you the ball, fella.
Thanks, man. Anyway, back to the NFL. So I don't want to... You can't get off the hook looking like trash, Jimmy Garoppolo. The only reason we're not talking about Jimmy Garoppolo being bad is because Jameis Winston was so much worse.
So if we give... Who did we give a pass last week? Trubisky. We gave him a pass.
Who gave him a pass?
No, because we said because he didn't play all preseason.
Yeah, all
Why
right.
can't we give Jimmy a pass?
Because Jimmy played in the preseason. And he was terrible then, too.
But he's also coming back from an injury. He's probably got the yip. Listen.
All right.
At least he threw a touchdown pass.
Anyway, moving on. Hey,
Still would rather take Jimmy Garoppolo over Mitch Trubisky any day. At least his name isn't Mitch.
Damn it. All right.
I like how that's a legit argument.
It's really the ender. So, let's talk about the Chiefs, dog.
Oh, that offense looks good.
So, hey, I want to read...
Wait, without Tyreek Hill?
Oh, I will get to that. So, the Chiefs beat the Jags 40-26. Can we talk about Jacksonville's quarterback, Chinshu Mahi, came in...
Say it again.
I can't pronounce his name. Let me look it up.
That's
anyway,
closer than what I
he
got.
was 22 of 25 for 220 yards and like 2 touchdowns. He came in for Nick Foles and balled out of control. It was amazing.
So far, Mahomes looks good.
No, we're gonna get to Mahomes. You shut your mouth. I'm scolding you right here. All right. Let me look. Hold on. Gardner Minshew is his name. Wow, he is ugly mug. Anyway,
Whoa!
Gardner Minshew came out.
Hold on. I know you're not talking about it, and your favorite quarterback is Lamar Jackson.
Hey, man.
He's got a blockhead.
He does have a brick. He has a whole brick for a head. All right, look. So Gardner Minshew came in, was 22 of 25 for 275 yards against that revamped defense. So I'm still nervous about the defense. But let's go back. So Mahomes, he's decent, right? He was 25 of 33 378 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like you said, with no Tyreek Hill.
Okay, but Sammy Watkins put in work.
Like 9 catches, 298 yards. No, 198 yards and 3 touchdowns.
So he had over half your boys' numbers.
So?
And a lot of that was rack.
Oh, it was a lot of rack. That's cool.
I'm not taking anything away from Mahomes. Hey, he saw somebody that was on fire.
So I got a question, Doug.
How'd that running game do?
Oh, you don't get to talk.
I'm asking how'd the running game do.
Shut up and listen. Oh, Shady McCoy had 10 carries for 81 yards. Shut up. So, what was that? We talked about it last week, 2 weeks ago. I think it was something like you said that the NFL's got film on him, right?
Yeah.
Yes or no answers will suffice. Yeah. And you said that, let's wait and see how he does, right? Did you know last year, Jacksonville was the only team to hold him without a touchdown?
I did
Yes
not
or
know
no?
that.
Yes or yeah? No?
I
No, you
know
didn't know that? All right. Hey, so they played him last year, and they had film of that game. And then, what happened the second time around, Doc?
He got better.
Oh, did he throw 3 touchdowns?
Listen.
Hung 40 on these boys?
Listen. Patrick Curry is pretty good. All right? I'll give it to him. I was wrong. But I'm still sticking by my guns. I want to see what he looks like at the end of the year. Then we can have this talk.
No, we're going to have to talk every week it happens.
All right.
Because he just played the Jags. And you tell me the Jags' defense is bad. Blame it on that.
Speaking of the Jags, did you see that conversation happen between DeAndre Hopkins and Jalen Ramsey?
Yeah.
No,
much respect.
No shit talking?
No, because
for Jalen Ramsey?
Yeah,
is he
that's
sick?
impressive.
He all right?
No, he's going up against DeAndre Hopkins.
Is he sick? I like what DeAndre said. He's like he's a true number 1 cornerback.
Because he
literally
follows the best guy
I like
everywhere.
that. Because like a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm the best cornerback." Well, why weren't you guarding him on 3rd and 10?
He covers the half side of the field. A lot of people do that. Darrelle Revis wasn't one of those.
They literally was like, "Hey, the whole right side, that's you." You got it.
That was the argument for Darrell, and Sherman would follow the people around when he was in his prime. So that was the argument back then.
Yeah, but he was so much better in zone, man.
In zone man. That's not a defense.
He still looks good.
Actually, zone man is a defense. No,
he
played Jameis Winston.
He still looks good though.
Eat the ball
for 1,000. He looks fine.
Throw it right to him. Anyway,
How many big sixes do you have?
I have 1 interception.
That's 1 more than I got.
Thanks, fella. It was in JV though.
Still counts to me in my heart.
All right. So anyway, the Chiefs dominated Monday Night Football. The Saints.
Last 45 was the last minute of that game is the greatest minute of
the
that
Saints
ever.
take the lead. Deshaun Watson comes out 2 plays, 75
2
yards.
Two of the best throws I've ever seen.
He was unbelievable.
On the money to Hopkins.
Getting just destroyed.
And then dot to Kenny Stills for a touchdown.
Did you know? Did you happen to know he was sacked 6 more times in that game? Bro!
Well, I'll give Tunsil a minute.
The offensive line, they revamped, but it's got to take time.
This is a really good pickup for them to get Tunsil.
Oh my god,
that might be the best trade that they made.
But obviously, still showed up and made catch. Duke Johnson made plays.
Obviously, they gave up
Will Fuller.
Yeah,
jumping over the backs of people. Which can we talk about? If Deshaun Watson would have thrown the ball, I don't know, 3 yards farther.
If they play against anybody else, it's a win. But then Drew Brees was like, "Hey,
Drew Brees, 3 plays, 3 completions, 58-yard field goal."
Yeah, Lutz nailed that.
Can we? They said it would have been good from 63. Can we?
Dome. How far are we from seeing a 70-yard field goal in the NFL? 5 years,
if that. And it's going to be in Denver.
People are getting more and more.
But not people. People are like, you know what? I don't want to do that getting hit stuff. I'm going to be a kicker.
No, I think it's that too in soccer.
Yeah.
A lot of soccer players are transitioning, which is smart.
Did you see the female soccer player?
They're talking about signing her
for next year. Yeah. She's going to try to be an NFL kicker. I hope she makes it. That's freaking cool.
You think in our lifetime we'll ever see a girl in the NFL?
Yes. 100% yes.
Woman in the NFL?
Speaking of girls, because in high school they're girls. We had one of the soccer players try out for the football team. She came to a couple practices. She made a few kicks. They were talking about letting her play. Like, they were setting it up. We just need to have her get hit. Because sometimes kickers get hit. We need to make sure she can take a tackle. And then they were going to let her play. And she was a senior. And her coach took her varsity letter away and captain star and told her that you aren't dedicated to the soccer team.
Wow.
Yep.
Quick, she wanted to be a 2-star athlete?
Yep.
Or a 2-sport athlete?
Yep. And she went back to soccer, but still wasn't allowed to be a captain, and wasn't allowed. And she got her star, but she wasn't allowed to be a captain.
What an asshole!
Yeah, that was terrible.
I don't know who you are, but that was undeserved.
But so the Saints, the only reason Houston isn't 1-0 for real, the only reason Houston isn't 1-0 is because Drew Brees still exists.
If they play anybody else, and I'm throwing anybody. I mean, you have maybe them and maybe Green Bay.
The only problem, I mean, just
and
because
even
they're
then, they
quarterback.
played like crap last
But like
game.
the Deshaun Watson is for real, man. And people doubted him coming into the draft because his throwing motion's not great.
We both missed on him.
Yeah, twice.
Just a moment of silence for that.
Because you've got Jimmy Garoppolo and I got Mitch Trubisky.
You don't even have to say Trubisky. Just say Mitch.
And Deshaun Watson is out here running around being sacked 6 times, and he's still almost won a game.
He has an elite wide receiver. But that, to me, still doesn't take away from... Because he threw for the touchdown to Kenny Stills.
That was a hell of a throw.
You can't help but catch that ball in the end zone.
How in the world... I don't understand how he fell to 10. When you watched him tear apart Alabama's defense, the only thing they have on Alabama's defense is NFL players. Every single position. And he throws for 800 yards and a combined 8 touchdowns against them. And you're like, I'm going to take Mitch, who played at North Carolina for 13 starts.
Who went number 1 that year? I don't remember. We'll have to go back and look at it.
It wasn't Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett, are you sure?
It might have been. Myles Garrett at 1, Mitch, who defensive lineman, Denzel Ward? Was that the draft?
But they had 1 and 3? Then, what the hell is his name?
That is a good question, my friend. So I can't remember which draft that was.
I got it pulled up. It was the 2017 draft.
Okay,
we're talking about who you want to know who went in front of Watson? That's what you want to know. 1 was Myles Garrett. I like that. That's a good
I was
one.
right, Myles Garrett.
This was the draft that we swindled you. Remember, San Francisco got you guys. Mitch Trubisky, Solomon Thomas, which I don't really know why I'm laughing because then we took a bust.
Took Solomon Thomas.
Fournette, that's a good pick.
Not better than Deshaun Watson.
No, Corey Davis.
Not better than Deshaun Watson.
Jamal Adams.
Okay.
Mike Williams.
Wait. No.
Chargers,
Terrible.
yeah.
No, never mind. I was thinking Mike Evans.
Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
I would take him above.
Yeah.
Just because you already have a quarterback. John Ross, which, by the way, literally only got picked because it's 40 time.
4.22 is nothing to laugh at.
Patrick Mahomes at 10.
Oh, Mahomes went 10 that draft.
Yeah.
That's
Marshawn Lattimore.
And
then Deshaun Watson at 12.
So literally, he could go anywhere in the top 10.
He should have went. He could have went to the Bears. He could have went to the 49ers.
He could have went to the Browns.
Jacksonville. Not Jacksonville. They needed a running back because at the time they still believed in Bortles. Tennessee had
Mariota.
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't remember.
It's all good.
Jets didn't have a quarterback at the time. Chargers, they had a quarterback.
They still have Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, and then
but still, you could trade up with one of those teams to grab Deshaun Watson, in my opinion.
But unless Houston was the only team that wanted him,
which is that says more about everybody else in the NFL. So let's see, we were on so the Chiefs and the Jags, we talked about that. So on Thursday night, which is this week, week 2, the Bucks beat Carolina 21-17, which is why I said the skip taking Jameis Winston before Cam was stupid, but then Cam looked like trash. So the Panthers had the ball 4th and inches on the 3-yard line, so you can get a first down and not get a touchdown.
This is the play I saw about.
Yeah,
okay.
so the Panthers were down 17-21 with 4th and inches. They put Christian McCaffrey and Cam Newton in the backfield. They called Cam went in motion, and they direct snapped it to Christian McCaffrey. He runs to the sideline and gets tackled out of bounds for no gain.
Why wouldn't you just do it? Why wouldn't you just quarterback power?
Quarterback sneak.
No sneak it.
Yes, sneak it.
A 6'6" Cam Newton's not sneaking anywhere.
He might not sneak.
Line up in that.
He's 6'2", maybe 50.
So, for those of you that play Madden out there, there's that formation in the Carolina they call Panthers Heavy, where you literally line up, and the only thing you're doing out of that formation is running with Cam Newton.
Fine. Or there's 3 plays you can call. You can call Carolina Power with Cam Newton. You can call quarterback sneak because he's so big and he's 6'6". He literally has to fall forward and get a first down. The third thing you can do is put him in shotgun if you want. He runs and jumps over the line.
So does Cam Newton
Superman it up, take your cape off, and jump over that line.
Do they run the option in Carolina, right?
Not anymore.
Why?
Because he's been hurt too much. They don't really run Cam that much. He hasn't run the ball purposely this year yet.
I get it.
I know you want to protect your assets. If he's that guy, if he's Superman,
but
if
it's
he's your
4th
quarterback,
and inches against a division rival.
He has to get the first down.
You have to give it to Cam
I understand you think Christian McCaffrey is your best player. Fine. You don't give it to him on a direct snap, rollout bullshit to the short side of the field.
Why wouldn't you toss it?
Anything.
Right.
I understand why you were trying to confuse him. Maybe fake Philly special or something, I guess. Whatever.
Can McCaffrey throw? Yeah, actually, yeah, he can.
Yeah, he can.
We saw it in Stanford.
But
still, though,
it goes in like this. First step is the quarterback sneak. It is literally statistically the best way to pick up third and fourth and a yard or less. Nothing
a
is
lot
more
of teams do this quarterback sneak.
I just watched Notre Dame do it today. 4th and 1, quarterback sneak.
And not only that, like the Patriots do it all the time.
Right, with Tom Brady, who's not even half the athletic quarterback Cam Newton is.
Like an eighth.
Like, so...
But he increased
terrible
his
play
40
calling.
time, though. Remember that.
Yeah, and his throwing power.
And he
the head fake.
motion.
What you couldn't see there was him doing a head fake, and that was
terrible head fake.
That was fantastic.
So
it was a terrible loss. Jameis Winston didn't look great, but Cam Newton looked worse. He was like 24 of 50. He just had shoulder surgery.
Why are you making your quarterback throw the ball 50 times?
You have Christian McCaffrey,
and you have McCaffrey
right there.
Right.
Run the ball. I know you want to get the ball to your playmakers.
One of your even then. If you're throwing the ball that much, was he throwing it down the field?
Yeah, a few times. And he was, something is wrong. He had an ankle injury early in the preseason. He just has shoulder surgery. He's redoing his throwing motion. He was super inaccurate. It was not his best game.
I wouldn't be surprised if he. I think he's one more big injury away from hanging him up.
It's so sad. I love Cam. I do. I always have. I liked him coming out of school.
I mean, if he wouldn't have stole a computer, he probably would have been better in Florida. But then he went on to win a national championship.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta learn from being bad.
And then he has the worst playoff or Super Bowl performance.
Yeah.
How do you not dive on that ball?
There's no way you don't.
Come on. If that's regular season, fine. I see you not falling on that. Whatever. You eat that play, you lose that game. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's the Super Bowl.
It's the Super Bowl. The game of the year.
All right, so you got any other games you want to talk about?
No, not games, but I do want to talk about...
You want to talk about college football for a second?
Paying college athletes?
No, not that. We can segue.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear what Georgia did today?
Yeah, 55-0.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, with the breast cancer
The pink.
thing? Yeah, hey, shout out to Georgia.
I watched
Arkansas State.
Another analyst that I love, and I'm sure you're going to... Scott Van Pelt.
Yeah, I love Scott. SVP's
Scott.
fantastic.
So I was going to say SVP, but I didn't know anybody else. Scott Van Pelt, SVP, amazing. He was on SportsCenter for the longest time. Stuart Scott.
Yep.
Which, rest in peace. I love Stuart Scott.
Stuart Scott was the best.
Try watching his speech at the thing and not cry because holy crap.
I mean, I don't cry, but
yeah. So for those of you that don't know, they were playing Arkansas State this week, and the head coach. Do you have his name?
I can pull it up.
His Wendy Anderson. That's his wife. She passed away from a long battle with breast cancer.
2 years.
So what they ended up doing was they kind of spread it out there. And from what I understand, I haven't seen any of the clips, but I think it was like Thursday. I think I saw this. The SVP. The whole stadium was going to be decked out in pink in support for the breast coach cancer, of the Arkansas State head coach. And I liked it.
Yeah, they had a pink out. It was really cool.
One of those very few moments where sports transcends the game itself. Right. And I wanted to make sure that I talked about that because that was a beautiful moment.
You know what? Let's segue again. 2 segues in a row. So
that's unheard of.
His name is Blake Anderson, by the way, the head coach. So the double segue goes like this. So the Tennessee Volunteers, okay? So there's a 4th grade kid in Florida. It was like school spirit day, but for like college, where your favorite college team? Well, his favorite team is Tennessee. He lives in Florida. That's questionable, right? So he home makes, because he doesn't have a Tennessee shirt. He gets an orange shirt and paper clips. He drew UT on his shirt on a piece of paper and clipped it to his shirt and wore it to school, and he got made fun of and he got bullied. His mom posted on Facebook. It gets to Tennessee, right? So Tennessee makes the kid's shirt and puts it in the Brooks shop, has sold 50,000 pre-ordered shirts, and they gave him a full ride scholarship.
Get out of here.
Yep. So it's for the 2032 class, if he meets the academic requirements and all that stuff, he has a full ride scholarship to Tennessee.
So if he doesn't go to Tennessee, it's literally all his fault.
Yep.
That's a lot
First
of
of
pressure.
all, good on Tennessee.
Good
That's
for them.
so cool.
I saw that
I
picture.
make fun of Tennessee a lot because they're bad. And that orange. Am I
Well,
right?
and the state.
The whole state's pretty
The whole
bad.
state.
No, have you ever visited, though? It's beautiful.
Have you heard some of the political policies that they have in
No,
Tennessee?
I don't do that.
Don't do that.
I went to Knoxville. I watched a Garth Brooks concert, and I got out of there. I also went there on vacation when I was a kid.
Side note, I heard Garth Brooks is amazing.
Bro, it's the coolest thing ever. He's so fucking good.
And even if you're not into country music, he's one of those ones
it's
that...
like a rock band,
yeah,
dog.
They say that it's like him and then Bruce Springsteen. They say Bruce Springsteen's really amazing in concert. Anyway.
Bro, we went and saw Garth Brooks he sold out Notre Dame Stadium by himself.
Well, yeah, of course he did.
And he put more seats in the stadium than there are because you could go sit on the field. So the stadium filled to capacity. It's snowing. It's freezing cold. He stays after the concert. He lets all his band members go, and he walks around stage and he would play people's songs that they had on their sign. And so they would hold up a sign, and he would play like a couple bars from that song, and he would go to he did it for like 10 or 15 more minutes after the show.
See that
no gloves on his hands. It was so cool.
That to me, that makes me a good performer.
And
ones that go beyond the...
Bro, he goes above and beyond, and I've seen it. I saw him in Chicago. I took my mom in 2014, and then a couple years later, Corinne and my wife and I drove down to Tennessee and watched him in Knoxville, and that was amazing. The only bad part about that was trying to leave after. God. And then I saw him at Notre Dame Stadium. It was so cool.
The only time I ever had a moment like that where it was crazy is when I went and watched the last Harry Potter movie.
Yeah, that was nuts.
I literally almost got in like 3 fights in the parking lot just trying to leave because people were being such assholes.
So I saw the last Harry Potter movie, Part 8. I go to the theater. Look, if you haven't seen Harry Potter by now, shame on you. The Molly Weasley scene at the end when she fights Bellatrix.
Doug.
She said, "Not my daughter, you bitch!" And I stood up in the theater. I was like, "Yeah!" And nobody else reacted. And I was like,
I was like, we stand Molly Weasley.
Yeah,
in my
hell
house.
yeah, we do. It was the second time. That was the first time I ever like verbally and audibly stood up in a movie theater. The second time was in the Godzilla movie when he's fighting the Mutos at the end of the movie, and then all of a sudden his tail starts glowing.
What are you
blue.
talking about? You did it. You've done it with me.
What movie?
King Kong. Yeah, I don't remember what King Kong was doing, but it was that time when me, you, and a bunch of people from work went.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I don't remember reacting like that.
Yeah,
but that would have been the third time then.
Yeah, well,
look, giant monsters give me hype.
Me too, but you got to keep it in here.
It's
all right. It's fine.
I'm trying to think of what part of that movie.
I'd much rather deal with that than the teenagers you have to put up with in movies now. I feel like you should be able to punch teenagers just in the arm, right, real hard, or maybe in the chest. I don't know, whatever you want to do.
Fold them up in the
last
chest.
couple times I've gone to the movies, I went and saw Scary Stories You Tell in the Dark because my wife read those books as a teenager, and she wanted to go see the movie. The movie was all right. It wasn't great, but it was all right. And there was in the front row was just a bunch of teenagers. Why would you buy a fucking ticket,
right,
to go talk in a movie theater?
Because sometimes
you're spending your mom's money on a ticket.
Listen, I was a teenager and I had my own money. Thank you.
Well, these kids definitely didn't. I refuse. There's no way you have a job and you're not paying your own money to go and talk in a movie theater.
Sure.
You're not doing it. And then we went and saw It Chapter 2. 9.5 out of 10 stars.
Nah, that's false because it's a scary movie. And
oh my lord,
they're all terrible.
Listen,
here's my question: how do you judge scary? Oh, scary movie! That was such a good movie. But then actual good movies
they fixed the original shitty ending. That was one. Because have you ever seen either of them?
No.
He turns into a lobster spider, and they kill him with a lump of silver. Stephen King shows up in that movie.
That's because
spoiler alert.
You kill everything. Obviously, you read the Monster Hunter books. By the way, if you haven't read the Monster Hunter books, do
Monster Hunter International. I need to reread them so I can get to Frank's book.
Amazing. No, Frank's book is... You got to get to Frank's book.
Yeah, I know, but...
Because things happen.
There's a character in that book named Earl Harbinger. And he's the most badass man to ever walk the planet. Hashtag fight me.
That's not a joke.
No, it's not.
That's a real fact.
He could legit go up against...
That's not a punchline.
He could legit go up against other people in fiction, and hold his own for at least a little bit.
It depends on what fiction we're talking about.
Oh, we're not talking like superheroes.
Speaking of fiction,
here we go.
This man said,
right, here we go.
"Oh no, I'm not gonna spoil it because
Are you talking about Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, I was gonna destroy your whole career.
So listen, I've seen bits and pieces of that. I literally just say things to make you mad.
And it worked.
That's pretty much how this whole friendship goes.
I know.
I say outlandish things I don't really believe in just to get a rile out of you. And you know what? We've known each other for almost 4 years, and it still works as well this now as it ever has.
But my favorite thing, though, is when we'll be talking about something, and he'll be like, that's why LeBron lost in the finals, huh? I'm like, we're not.
They don't even connect.
I'm like, we're not doing this shit today. I'm too tired.
Oh, yeah. Or like, yeah, when we texting, they're like, yeah, speaking of which, you're like, you know what? I'm about to go to bed. I'm not in the mood for this. It was worth a shot.
You give it. Anyway, so we'll stick to sports. I was going to destroy you about the anime, but alas, I don't want to spoil the show for you. Watch the damn show.
It's only been out forever, right?
It's like 20 years.
But I appreciate you not ruining it for me.
Listen, I love Dragon Ball Z. What I need you to do is watch My Hero first, because it's present, and I need someone else to talk to about it.
So, I have to give you. You did get me to watch Naruto.
I did, and that was it's a great show.
That's one of the best shows I've ever watched.
You cried 3 times.
Don't that you know of. That I've admitted out loud.
But I knew they were gonna happen. I knew. Yeah. So, but my thing is, I'm giving you another show. When I tell you My Hero tries to jerk my chain, episode 2?
My body's not ready.
Is it 2? It might be episode 1. No, it's episode 2.
So, before we get on this tangent, why don't we get back on track? Because we could talk about this shit forever.
Tim Tebow.
You want to talk about Tim Tebow?
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Easy
before we talk about this, I want everyone to know out there, I'm a Tim Tebow fan. I was rooting for him in college. I was rooting for him in the pros. I still root for him to this day.
With the Mets.
Maybe.
So
maybe after this.
So what happened was California is working on passing a bill to be able to pay college athletes. LeBron James has backed it. It's gotten a lot of...
I don't like that. Shut up. You didn't go to college. Why do you care?
He still cares.
Shut up.
Did you go to college?
No.
Do you care about paying college athletes?
Yeah.
Then shut the fuck up, you idiot. Anyway, I was aggressive.
That was really aggressive.
You know what? You're not an idiot, but that was a dumb statement.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, so there's this bill going on. Tim Tebow was on First Take this week, and he basically shit on the entire concept of paying the college athlete. He was like, you're not there to make money, you're there for your team. If you just pay them, it's going to be the NFL, and whoever has the most money, that's where players are going to go. And I just think you take away from the integrity of the game. I went to Florida to play, to be with my university, and it's where I chose to go and I wanted to go. And even to raise money for all these orphans, and he talked about all the good things he did, because he's an amazing person.
Tebow is an amazing man. However, he's wrong here.
I agree 100%. So he literally shit-talked the whole bill up one side and down another.
I think it's... So here's my biggest case. It happened last year. Zion was I would say...
The only reason to watch basketball?
Not only that, but he was up there with LeBron James, as in popularity.
Absolutely.
LeBron himself flew into Duke to watch a Duke game.
Yeah. They were watching his games at AAU games.
Right.
Like, he was making tons of money for Duke.
He gets hurt, right? He does get hurt. Thankfully, he bounces back.
Yeah.
What if he doesn't?
Yeah.
All that hype and all the money that doesn't go into his pocket, it goes into Duke's pocket.
Yeah, I'm well aware.
I don't like that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he should get a part of the ticket prices and all
this.
They
should be 100%.
He should be able to sell autographs if he wants to.
At minimum.
He should be able to...
He should see some portion of his jersey sales.
Jersey sales. Tim Tebow argued against himself.
Yes.
When he said... So at what point
he said his jersey was third selling...
Well, it was up there. He said he literally names. He said there was Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and he was like, I was behind just those guys. And
in the world for his jersey.
You saw nothing for that.
But he's like, that wasn't my goal.
I understand, but...
So, I have hold on, keep talking.
So, I actually, Instagram, somebody...
Famous Lowe's. I was going to pull that up.
That's what I was scrolling
read the caption. Read his caption.
You want to read the caption? You don't want to read the...
Yeah, his caption's really good.
Okay, so, for those of you that don't know Instagram, Famous Lowe's is an Instagrammer. He makes funny basketball videos, kind of making fun of certain situations. Likes to poke fun at basketball players. He commented on the whole Tim Tebow interview. He said I met Uncle Tim LMFAO, but he's not speaking for the kids who grew up in the projects. He's speaking for the kids who didn't or don't have to worry about money or helping their family put food on the table, clothes, bills, etc. Sports was always a way out. The love for the game came with it throughout the years. He's the type that played because he liked it. I know people that play because they don't know another way to feed themselves.
Right.
So literally they're playing because they're like, if I don't do this, if I make it, I can get all of my family out of this terrible situation.
I think there are more stories like that where guys have found a way to make it into a major league sport, be it baseball, basketball, whatever. They found a way to get there, and then they pay for their families, to get out of shitty places.
Well, like LeBron, for instance. LeBron is the perfect example. He literally skipped college because he wanted to go make money.
So he can get his mom out of the
not only his mom, his friends, his family, everybody. He took care of everybody. Which, by the way, I will say this. On the court, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. Off the court, LeBron is the GOAT. Hands down, you can't argue with him. Yep. There's nobody that's done more for communities, for kids,
for his family, for his friends. He brought those 5 guys who played basketball with him in high school. All 5 of them are successful in their own businesses. Yes, he gave them money to help support them, but they did that shit on their own. His best friend runs the scariest agency, NBA, like your agent.
Yeah,
agency. Clutch Sports is run by his best friend, and LeBron doesn't own it. Right. He set that shit up all on his own. Right. Yeah, he had LeBron's help, money maybe, but I don't even know he can do that. But his being friends with LeBron was able to get him there.
My biggest problem, and but
I 100% agree with what Los is saying.
Yeah,
he's saying, and in case you didn't grasp the whole thing, what he's saying is Tim Tebow was privileged. He didn't have to play because
he played because he loved the game.
Right, not because he had to. There's a difference. And there are guys who play because they have to, and if they could get paid in college, maybe they would have better situations.
It's like, there's a couple instances in college that I could think of off the top of my head where I don't really see the problem with it. Terrell Pryor traded signed memorabilia for tattoos. Okay, that's your memorabilia. It's not like you stole it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think, what was it, like somebody brought him a jersey, he signed it, they were like, all right, we can do this. Reggie Bush literally lost his Heisman because he accepted money for a house for his mom and dad. Not for himself, for his mom and dad. He lost his Heisman Trophy. Arguably the greatest college running back of all time. Maybe not the greatest, but top 5.
Arguably, yes.
Name me 4 better, you know what I mean? Name 5 better running backs. I mean, those are the 2 that I can really think of off the top of my head.
Doug.
But you're getting crap. But I don't really I hate this equation. People always equate this. Yeah, okay, you're playing for free, but you're not really because you're getting an education. Okay, but they were going to get an education if they went to the school anyway.
Not only that, and I thought about that I was in that side for a long time. They get an education, and like, for example, a full ride to Notre Dame is like $150,000. That's no joke, and you get out with a Notre Dame education, which is amazing. Don't get me wrong. I've changed my tune for this reason, and it's because, a lot of these guys maybe can make the school, but what are you going to do with a degree afterwards?
Right.
Because a job after college isn't guaranteed. And
especially nowadays.
You have the full ride, but what if you got a full ride in liberal arts?
Here's my thing.
No shitting on liberal arts degrees. I'm just saying, what's your job? What do you do?
Right. No, you're right.
Like,
well, for instance, did you know that there are several degrees out there now that are considered entry level now? You can literally get into them without a degree. So essentially, could you imagine going to school for 4 years to find out that your degree is something you didn't have to go to school for?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So that's an instance. Or say, you're not going to go to school. You're only going to school to play football.
Right.
So you get a degree. Cool. You don't need it.
Basket weaving.
You don't need it. You know what I mean? So the education is only there because you're in college.
Right.
You have to go to school. It's like high school. How many football players did you go to school with? I know I had some.
Yeah.
And literally, their grades were only good for the first half of the year, and then the rest of that they didn't care because I don't have to be academically eligible.
No, I didn't have anything like that. But like, for example, Andrew Luck retired, and I think part of the reason he retired is
he has a degree.
He has a degree. He has a decent amount of money, but also his degree is viable. He's gonna go be an engineer. Engineer. He's an architect.
Remember when he literally, what was it? He had to go back to finish it.
Yeah, he went back. So
I think he missed OTAs or something,
something like that. But So your degree can be helpful if you're an architect.
Yeah.
And you know what's never going to be not done is building buildings.
Right. And I'm not trying to say any of these guys are stupid or anything.
It's just...
But your main focus is sports. All right, if I make it to the league, I can get millions of dollars. I could take care of this, and this.
Right. And some people, just because they make it to the league, don't stop going to college. For example, Larry Fitzgerald still
Some
went and
people go
graduated.
back, yeah.
And I just think that paying college athletes isn't a bad thing. And if... More so for the impoverished people, you know? Like
the impoverished, yeah.
I just think that if that's your only way out...
I don't see a problem with a stipend.
Some of them aren't necessarily... Right. And some of them aren't necessarily smart enough to get that whole degree. They have tutors to make it through just for football
And I'll admit, I have a little bit of a selfish... I want college football video game back.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like... I actually did the math. So I think there's approximately... Like, I'll just ballpark it. Like 350... Division I schools.
315, but go on.
300.
It's 300 plus.
300 plus schools, right? And I don't know how many. I didn't actually do I didn't look it up, but I estimated it at like 50 players dress every game, right?
I think it's more than that, but go on.
So if you paid each one of those $1,000 for their likeness, right? that's $17 million for all those schools. Like. That's it.
And they make that in...
They make that on day one of the game sales.
Oh,
so you're never even
they made that before the game sales. They made that on pre-orders.
Exactly.
The GTA, I think, broke the record with like $135 million in pre-sales.
Exactly.
An NCAA football game tomorrow would crush that.
We had this conversation. This wasn't on the mic, right?
I don't remember.
So me and Mo at work, we really got to get that dude on here.
I don't know if he'll do it.
He probably wouldn't, but... It's a really good friend of both of ours from work, and he's probably smarter than us at football at some aspect.
No,
not football, but like at certain sports, boxing.
Oh yeah, sure.
Boxing. But anyway, we were talking about it, and I asked him. I said, "Would you pay $75 for an NCAA game if they came out and said the reason that it's 75 and not 60 is to try to make up the margins for paying the athletes for their rights?" I would. I wouldn't even think about it.
I'll buy that tomorrow.
Yeah. So
like if it released at midnight,
I mean,
I would
obviously, you could see right through it. You're like, you're just paying it because people want it.
Right.
But I don't really care.
They'd still get it.
They sell Madden right now at $100 for.
Yeah, but who's dumb enough to buy that? Am I right? I didn't buy it just so.
I didn't buy the $100 Kobe Bryant edition of 2K.
Yeah, but when LeBron retires,
oh, for sure.
I don't know if I'll not be able to do that. I'll have to talk my wife into that.
It comes with a refrigerator magnet, so you have to be able to get it.
Anyway, yeah, the LeBron edition would be dope. But hopefully he doesn't retire for a long time. Hopefully with a couple more rings. You know what I'm saying? Look, I forgot.
I think he's gonna get one more.
So I forgot
if Anthony Davis stays.
About
speaking of basketball.
No, we're not talking about basketball. We're going back to the NFL.
No, but we gotta talk about basketball just for a second. Joe Johnson.
Who?
Joe Johnson.
What about Joe Johnson?
Signed with the Pistons, I think. After being in the Big 3 league. That's what I want to talk to you about. I'm actually talking about something here, not just spouting out random facts. So, for those of you who don't know, there's a Big 3 league where you literally, it's like old washed up players, right?
Yeah.
And they play. Well, I guess Joe Johnson was tearing it up in the Big 3 league.
That's what they said.
And
he got a job offer.
So what I'm asking you is, do you think this is a one-time thing, or do you think this could be...
No, I don't think it's a one-time thing. I think that depending on when players retire, for example, if like...
Amari Stoudemire?
No, I meant more like Sean Livingston, who just retired today, or...
No, but I mean like people that want to come back. Yeah. Amari wants to come back. Amari, and there's one more I can't remember. Oh, Monta Ellis. He wants to come back too.
Yeah,
This would be a good way to show that you still have it. Yeah. Because if you go there and you ball the hell out.
But the thing was, Joe Johnson balled out and then just got workouts, and then his workouts were good enough that he got a job.
Yeah,
wasn't.
But it could open the door for workouts.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
My thing is, if you stopped being able to, if you weren't able to do it against NBA competition last year, and you went up against washed guys and were putting up buckets, you better. Because you were just in the league.
Right.
I think you should, if you really are serious about coming back, go to the G League or the D League or whatever the hell they call it.
No, but like I said, like Amari Stoudemire, who hasn't been in the league for a while. Monta Ellis has been gone for how long?
I stand by the fact that I think the Big Three, it could happen again for sure. I think if you want a real look at somebody, they should go against at least the G League.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm saying if this is your only avenue, you know what I mean? This, like maybe maybe you wanted to play in the G League, but nobody gave you any offers.
Sure, for sure.
But Ice Cube hits you up and says, "Hey, you want to come play with me?"
Yeah, I ain't mad about that. I'm really not mad about.
I just wanted to throw that in there real quick because I know we haven't talked about basketball in a while, which is better because we went from only basketball,
but now we're only gonna be football. So if you want basketball, you got to wait till at least October.
The baseball playoffs are coming.
40 days, I think, or 30 some days until.
October's a good month if you're a sports fan.
October's a good month.
You have basketball comes back, football's really in the full swing, and the MLB playoffs.
Yeah. So I forgot about one more thing where Skip Bayless was right.
Oh man.
So, in case you didn't know, the Dallas Cowboys play the Giants, who are a step above JV.
They're Miami Dolphin level, right?
No, they're better than them a little. They still have Saquon Barkley, and he's better than the entire Dolphins team. So Eli Manning, Dak Prescott, who I've been shit talking and Skip has been talking about forever, and I was wrong. Dak Prescott went 25 of 32 for 405 yards and 4 touchdowns. Michael Gallup had 7 catches for 158 yards. Where's Amari at? Amari Cooper had 6 catches for 106 yards and a touchdown. So basically what I'm saying is Dak Prescott is the second best quarterback behind Lamar Jackson.
Oh, I forgot we're doing overreactions.
Yeah, we're overacting like crazy. Yeah. I mean, the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl.
I think so. Overreaction Saturday, whatever
day you're listening to, we're overreacting. And hopefully these overreactions aren't proven wrong come tomorrow.
I mean, maybe.
Listen, CBS, I know I asked this earlier. Please put the Ravens-Cardinals game on TV. I do not want to watch Detroit again.
Why? You don't like Detroit? Who are they playing this week? Trash City USA?
Well, yeah, they're from Trash City USA.
Scrub City USA?
Have
you ever been to Detroit?
No, the one time, when LeBron was in the playoffs in 2008, 2007, 2008, somewhere in there, they were giving away tickets at the Palace because they couldn't sell at the stadium. And I asked my mom if we could go to Detroit so I could watch LeBron play, and she said, no, we're not going to Detroit. If your grandpa says yes, you can go. So I asked him, and he said, no, we're not going to Detroit. So I didn't go.
I've been to Detroit once. I went to a Tigers game, which, by the way, their stadium is dope. It's in the ground. So
that is cool.
When you're looking out, we sat on the first base side. Because the kid at the time that I went with was a White Sox fan,
right?
And his mom was like, "Hey, we're gonna go to a White Sox game. You want to take a friend?" And I was just lucky to get picked, mainly because I don't think he had any other friends. Anyway, so we went to Detroit. I kid you not, there was a homeless person on like every corner.
Yeah,
it's a very sad city.
Yeah,
but this was like 8 years ago.
Do you remember the movie Elysium? Did you ever see that with Matt Damon?
No,
it's horrible.
Oh yeah. It's Matt Damon.
But they originally offered the part to Eminem, and he said, I'll do it if you film in Detroit. And they said no. So he didn't do it.
But Eminem turns down a lot of movie roles. He was supposed to be in Southpaw, too.
Yeah, but instead he just made the music, which is way better than the movie, so. Southpaw's hard to watch.
Is it?
Have you seen it?
No.
Bro, it's heavy. It's heavy.
Like, as in...
Like emotionally. Like, it weighs on you. Like, Jake Gyllenhaal does really good.
Probably better than Rocky, though, right? At least he didn't try to corner...
No, because he does the same thing. It's the same thing. He gets beat up for a long time, and then he wins.
Does he corner an autistic girl in his house?
So here are the games on Fox.
That's what I thought.
On Sunday. So here's the game I'm sure I'm going to get. Vikings-Packers play at 1 on Fox. Garbage. Don't care about that. Seahawks Steelers is on Fox.
The only reason you don't care about the Packers Vikings game is because somebody's got to win in it.
Exactly. Or they could tie. Then it's Cowboys Redskins on Fox, and then it's Cardinals Ravens. I could get Cardinals Ravens, Kyler Murray, and Lamar Jackson. Instead, I'm going to get Vikings freaking Green Bay. Disgusting. And I'm not paying NFL $100 more to watch it.
Right.
I'm upset.
It's okay. So am I.
Can they afternoon flex it to a primetime game so I can watch it? Something?
That's not going to happen, right?
Because the Cardinals are terrible.
Yeah.
But it could be exciting.
Two of the most exciting quarterbacks to watch.
They could be the future of the NFL. If they progress and get good, everybody's going to want players that can run like that.
Since we're over exaggerating,
yeah,
Kyler Murray's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Calling it.
That's not an overreaction.
It is.
Can you name another rookie?
Yeah.
Hey,
Hollywood
speaking
Brown.
of rookies.
DK Metcalf?
Let's talk about DK Metcalf. So DK, listen, you are a freak of nature. You're athletically gifted beyond
I'm
all
so
belief.
sorry that San Francisco didn't take you.
No, I'm not,
in
because you get to play with a good quarterback. Listen,
what would what would you know about what a good quarterback looks like? Name one good Chicago Bear quarterback ever. Y'all have never had one. The best you had, ready for it? Are you ready? Jay Cutler. That's the best quarterback you've ever had. He holds all of your records. Does that hurt you in your heart?
So, listen, I got a Jay Cutler story, dog. They were talking about Jay Cutler.
Here we go.
I don't remember who was talking about it. So, literally, this is reported. This is fact, written down fact. So, his last year in Chicago, they took his locker and put it in the hallway.
Why?
He didn't dress with the team.
Why?
They literally left his ass in the hallway because the rest of the team hated him so much. He literally got dressed by himself in a broom closet.
Am I the only one that could definitely see Jay Cutler playing quarterback with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth?
Just slinging it.
Terribly?
Look, so, like...
He was a special guy.
Anyway, back to DK Metcalf. You got me all distracted.
One last thing. Was it true? Was he an asshole?
I don't know. I never met the guy.
But I heard rumors that he was an asshole.
That's what they said, yeah.
He looked like an asshole. All right, go ahead.
Crybaby ass. DK Metcalf. So listen, we gotta talk personally, you and me, Doug. So I don't know what possessed you. So you know how some people have special mouthpieces? Like a lot of running backs where they look like teeth.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Some dudes are normal and just have a regular ass mouthpiece you can't see. Then there's DK Metcalf.
Here we go.
If I told you, sir, could you guess what he was wearing in his mouth?
No.
It was a pacifier, dog. He had a blue and pink binky in his mouth for his mouth guard.
Was it worth it though? Was he out there killing it? Was it better than wearing a $350,000 watch?
No. And I'll say yes only because nobody's talking about the freaking pacifier. Why aren't we talking about that?
I don't know.
That's important.
What's up with the cool new visors they have out?
Yeah, those are dope. But I wish they
Who
would
was that on was it the Browns?
Yeah, but he can't wear those in a game. They have cool Browns ones. I'm sorry. The Browns players were wearing cool visors. They were like multicolor kind of thing, but they weren't like the Dragon Ball Z one he was wearing or the Naruto one. Yeah, because you're not allowed to wear those in a game. And some of those special cleats you're not allowed to wear, but they do and you get fined for it.
I like that Nipsey Hussle one.
Yeah, it was cool.
That was pretty cool.
He's going to do that every game.
I like that.
I hope the NFL doesn't fine him for that, because that would be dumb.
No, you can't. You really can't.
It's the no fun league. Listen, let's go back to Odell and that watch real quick, dog. So, like, do you really think that's a big deal?
I don't like it.
The only problem I have...
If the NFL asks you to stop doing something, you stop doing it.
If they specifically say you're not allowed to wear it, don't wear it. However, if you wear the watch... I thought he was going to do it one game, first game of the season, score a touchdown, it's time to go or whatever, and that was going to be the end of it.
Maybe that's why he's going to keep wearing it, because he didn't get to do it.
Maybe. And then he's like, I'm going to keep wearing the watch. Now, I am assuming that means Richard Mille is paying him a shitload of money. But Richard Mille was like, we got nothing to do with him. Like, there's no advertising. We're not advertising with Odell at all.
So why did he drop the name then?
No. They had to Google the watch to find out it was that much money. Like, somebody else came up with it. Like, he didn't say, I'm wearing a fancy watch.
I have a lot of problems. I like Odell, but he is a big distraction. And he can't stay healthy enough to justify it sometimes.
Dude, this weekend, so Monday night, he's got the Jets. I think he's going to have another bad game because apparently somebody told him that when Greg Williams was coaching the Browns and the Browns played the Giants, some Browns players who are still there said, hey, when we played you, Greg Williams said to hurt you in the game.
Well, yeah, he did that when he played, remember? The Saints?
Yes, I know.
Well, I'm not surprised.
But he hasn't had any problems.
How does he keep getting jobs?
Because he's a damn good defensive coordinator?
Yeah, but come on now. If anybody deserves to get blacklisted, it's this guy, not Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, I got nothing for that.
Like, you're literally telling people to go out and hurt people.
Yeah,
and for those of you who don't know, so when Brett Favre was playing for Minnesota...
Yep. And that Saints, you know the game.
Yeah, they literally... So Greg Williams... pull everybody aside. He's like, look, if you get him, I will pay you extra. There were incentives on hurting the other team's best players.
Correct.
And this guy's still getting jobs. It infuriates me.
But he
got
suspended.
That's not enough.
He paid fines.
And he's still doing it.
No, he's not.
Didn't he say hurt Odell? Didn't he just say that?
Oh, some players told him that. But here's the thing, okay?
Why would they have the lie if they're his teammates?
Listen, if you really thought If the players thought that, why not go tell Roger Goodell, this man told me to hurt Odell because he would be fired. He would never be. The NFL told him when they reinstated him, they said, if there's even a hint of this again, you will never coach in the NFL again.
Is it a rumor that Odell's trying to spread?
No, according to Odell, players on the Cleveland Browns currently, who were there last year when Greg Williams was coaching, he's referring to a play that happened in the preseason. He went up to catch a ball. The guy tackled him low, hit him in his knee. He ended up getting ankle surgery because of the hit. But it was a preseason game, and nobody's telling anybody to hurt anybody in a preseason game. And it wasn't a dirty hit at all.
So whoever told him that was lying?
Was either lying or exaggerating. Maybe Greg Williams is an in-your-face, aggressive coach. Greg Williams probably said, we need to be physical and hit Odell because he doesn't like that. He's a pretty boy, and if you pop him once, you'll take him out of the game. And so it could be the players, the telephone game. It gets over-exaggerated.
Gets over-exaggerated,
but
so
if you
pieces
truly
get lost.
felt like he was telling you, I will give you more money to go injure this guy, then you go to the commissioner and you get him removed from the league.
See, I agree with you, but then what happened in New Orleans? Because nobody went and said anything to anybody.
But it ended up happening. They found out about it and they banned it.
After the fact. And I don't think it was anybody on that team.
Maybe players didn't know about it.
How were they getting paid extra?
No, the Saints players knew, and the Saints players didn't care because they were making more money.
That's what I'm saying. So you know what I mean?
I'm saying, if you care enough to tell Odell, hey, this dude says we need to hurt you.
Yeah. Well, that's because he's his teammate now.
But they're playing
and that's not your coach anymore.
He's the defensive coordinator on the Jets.
That's what I'm saying. He's not your coach anymore. So by telling you're not risking like losing playing time, have to run extra sprints or whatever. Now let's be honest. So NFL players don't run extra sprints.
Which we talked about this. They should.
Yeah.
Because they have so much money. Like what's $25,000?
Yeah. They just flat out go, I'm not doing that, and they'd rather take a fine than run. You know what we haven't talked about yet today?
What's that?
Antonio Brown.
Holy shit.
So literally, it was the day after we recorded, right?
Yeah.
The day after. So I'm sure everyone out there knows if you watch sports, Antonio Brown is being accused of sexual assault on his former trainer 3 times. Not once, not twice.
2 sexual misconducts, 1
3 strikes. You're out at the old ball game.
Okay. So here's the thing. So as we talked about last week, he signed with the Patriots. He is going to play this Sunday.
Of course he is. Of course he's going to play. He has to, right?
Listen.
He has to.
Listen. Shh. Listen. It's a civil lawsuit.
Okay.
Civil meaning there is no criminal.
Civil meaning you kind of have to think he did it.
There is no criminal lawsuit, and he is not under arrest. There's no criminal investigation. It's
literally he said, she said.
Yes. I guess you can go and read everything she put out. There are text messages involved that are really sketchy.
From him or what?
From him. Well, I didn't read it. I'm only verbatim what I heard. But I guess one of the messages he said something... Okay, look. In the text message he sent, in the message that was brought up, he said, "You made me feel like a rapist last night." That was his words that he sent to her. He didn't say, "I raped you." He said, "You made me feel like a rapist." I guess they did something that made him uncomfortable according to that message.
So maybe she's into... Let's not get into
that. We're not going to do that.
But maybe she's into something that made him feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Or maybe he did something and the way she reacted.
Something. Right. I don't know the context. I didn't go and read everything, to be totally honest with you, because that shit grosses me out. But...
Yeah, it makes me uncomfortable. As it should. I definitely don't think you should be like, yes.
So she filed the suit. She's only... And hit Odell and his... agent Drew Rosenhaus, who is an asshole, by the way.
I've never liked him.
No, his name's Drew and
Rosenhaus.
Yeah, it's bad all the way around. But they both have come out and said it's a money issue. She's trying to come after him for money.
So to me, honestly, there's one of 2 options. Literally, this is it. One, they had consensual sex, consensual whatever happened, and she's trying to extort him.
Correct.
And he's done paying her, or he refuses to pay her to keep her quiet.
Right.
This is what happened. Or 2,
he did it.
It happened, and nothing. She went to the police, and they did nothing about it. And this is her only way of getting him in trouble.
So,
But to me, since you're going the civil suit, if you're going the civil suit route...
Here's the thing about civil court, though. And
I know all about it. Go ahead.
What?
There's 2 cases that
Are you a civil court expert?
No, but I know there literally has to be in you. All you have to do is there has to be 51% of you that thinks he could have done it.
Correct. In the civil court, if you don't know, and I know there is a lawyer who happens to listen, and she'll probably let me know about this later.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I know that I'm pretty sure that's the case.
So a civil, you go. There's a jury of your peers, and it is he said, she said, but you don't have to prove anything without a shadow of a doubt.
Nothing.
If they just kind of like, I can see him doing that, and since he's an asshole, he can probably lose that case. And then big things come after that.
A lot of people point to, don't get me wrong, he definitely did it. O.J. Simpson. A lot of people say, well, if he wasn't guilty, why did he get found guilty in the civil suit? Well, that's because...
You just have to convince 9 other people.
That he could have done it. And you're like, he fucking could have done it. Same thing with Kobe Bryant.
Here's the thing.
For instance.
So, I hope to... I don't... It sounds weird to say I hope it didn't happen. You know what I mean? I hope nobody... He didn't do anything bad to this woman.
But that also makes her a liar.
Right, and I don't want that either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So...
Well, again, most of the time you get 2 people's stories, and the truth is somewhere in the middle.
That's what they say.
Because you always want to make yourself look like the victim or the good person.
The stuff she said she said he forcibly did it. And sexual assault, and the other 2 was like,
I guess I'll have to read
messages that...
I guess I'll have to read the transcripts
you can look it up.
or whatever
but
to really get...
So, here's the thing that makes me nervous, is that his stepdad, who they had a falling out with when AB was 17, him and his stepdad like got an argument, like falling out. They haven't spoken to each other hardly at all since. Okay? His stepdad came out yesterday, I believe it was Friday, and said, I 100% believe he did it. Antonio likes to have power, and especially have power over women, and he's been this way since he was a kid, and I 100% believe
but okay, but if you don't like somebody, so you're naturally
he
going to...
could be lying, for sure.
I don't think he's lying. I think he's more like willing to believe...
Oh, and I'm sure he's bloviating a little bit, too, because he doesn't like the guy.
What'd you just say?
That was bloviating.
That's nice.
Thank you.
I like that.
Thank you. So anyway, we don't know the facts, and that's why he's being allowed to play. And yes, he's been an asshole, but technically there is no criminal charges.
No, you're right. And I'm sure that if something happens, the Patriots are going to do what they always do and distance themselves immediately.
They will.
Well, although it does confuse me because you assume that, and then they've kept Josh Gordon on the team.
Josh Gordon isn't a rapist.
You're right. I'm not.
Josh Gordon has only hurt himself.
I'm definitely not trying to equate.
Right, I understand.
Drug use with sexual assault.
Yeah.
But I'm saying people assume that the Patriots are going to do the right thing, but you don't. But they always have had a history of...
So here's the thing, right? They've always had this history. And somebody said, I believe it was Shannon Sharp on Undisputed. He said something that made me really think. So he's like, you know how the Patriots are known for bringing in questionable character guys. A lot of those questionable character guys, Tom Brady invites to his house. Really? Tom Brady has AB staying in his house right now. Which, if I found out, if there was even allegations of a rapist, you're getting the fuck out of my house tomorrow or yesterday.
I'm sorry, man. It's not that I believe it, but there is a possibility.
You're gone, dog.
I don't know you like that.
Dog, he's got a daughter, bro.
Yeah.
You are sleeping.
He also has a son that he kisses on the mouth for way too long. Bro. How do we not? We should talk about that every week. If you don't know what I'm talking about, so there was a scene. I think there was a video.
In his TV show.
He's literally laying on a massage table.
He's getting massaged underneath the towel.
And his son comes up and kisses him on the mouth.
No. So his son comes in. He does kiss him on the mouth. But his son comes in and says, Dad, can I check my fantasy football team? Which, if your son has a fantasy football team, why has he got to ask you to check it, first of all? Tom,
maybe he's got to get on his phone.
It's too strict. It doesn't matter.
How old is his son?
10, 11?
Yeah, that makes it even more creepy. I wanted them to know.
So the kid walks in. He says, all right, cool, thanks. Tom says, what, no kiss? Kid walks over. He's getting massaged. He's naked underneath the towel. His kid shakes his head, comes over, pecks him on the cheek. Tom says, that's not a kiss. They're kissing mouth to mouth, mind you. He bends forward, and I'm going to pause for how long they kiss. Are you ready? He says, that's a kiss. He comes over, gives him a real kiss. It goes like this. And then he gets up. Do you feel that was an eternity to you? And watching the video, it feels that long.
It feels longer.
It's so uncomfortable.
So I remember...
Maybe it's because I didn't get kissed as a kid.
My dad got bummed out, all right? So one time he had to take me to school, middle school.
Did you not say I love you?
No, I've never been ashamed to do that. Always. I still tell my dad I love you every time we get off the phone, every time we leave, because you never know. Might be the last time you see him. Remember that, folks.
So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's why I tell you. That's why I tell you I love you every time I leave.
Okay. Don't lie to the people.
He's so ashamed. Anyway, but I was in the. I was leaving, and I was like, "Yeah, I love you, Dad." I just got out, and I could tell a little piece of me was like, "Oh, my son's growing up," but I couldn't imagine kissing my dad on the lips at 10 years old,
bro. And like,
I wish I would.
For uncomfortably long time.
If you're that close to puberty, right?
Oh,
you shouldn't be kissing.
He didn't want to. The kid was uncomfortable as hell.
Yeah.
What were we talking about before this? Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown.
So he's gonna play this weekend against Miami. Dude, the spread on that game is 18 points. You get 3 points just for being at home.
So,
which means if it was a new,
I guess we'll talk about this more next week. Because I'm sure.
So
when's the suit start?
I don't know, but the reason. Okay, so here's the thing. So the reason the NFL hasn't done anything yet is there's no criminal suit, so they haven't put him against the commissioner's exempt list, which is a list where you're suspended with pay, but that's it. So. But they did it with Adrian Peterson, but it was a criminal charge.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different.
So why?
Because the NFL wants to meet with her, and they want to meet with him, get their sides of the story, see what they can find out. She's getting married this weekend. She'll talk to him next week.
Why did she bring that up so close to her wedding? You know why? She wants to pay for her wedding.
I don't assume that. Please don't assume that.
No, I'm not assuming that, but it kind of feels that way.
Yeah?
What woman out there wants to bring that up so close to her wedding?
Bro, like 4 days before.
I'm not trying to be one of those guys. I never victim blame. I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt. But a lot of this evidence is circumstantial at best. You could doctor text messages to make them seem like however you want. You can take out pieces. It's happened before. Absolutely. Where you take out Dwight Howard, for instance. Remember when that...
Are you defending Dwight Howard?
No, but remember when they said that he was with men? That...
the transsexual.
The transsexual, guy? Yeah, said they say she was literally taking pieces out of from him, making him look guilty. I'm not saying she did that. I'm not saying she knows how to do that. But I'm saying this is an avenue that we have to address as possible. I don't know any woman.
Here's the question, though. So Antonio Brown is a millionaire.
Yeah,
She only asked for $75,000.
Still,
I know it's a lot of money to us. However, when you can ask for millions...
Yeah, but she probably knows she won't get millions.
But this goes back to the point. My idea of if she's only asking for $75,000, it's not a money grab, in my opinion. She's only asking for... She's putting it out there to get...
Maybe to recoup noticed. What she got from her wedding? She spent on her wedding?
No, I don't know.
I'm not saying that. Also, I'm playing devil's advocate here. I don't. Sure. I definitely don't think... or want anyone out there to think that I'm on Antonio Brown's. He's a piece of shit to me. Yeah, huge piece of shit.
He's a trash person.
And when I've heard it, the first thing I thought was, he did it.
He definitely did it.
Definitely did it. But I don't want. I'm playing devil's advocate just because there are things here. We don't know.
His past is not good when it comes to women.
Yeah.
There was a case. I think it was 3 years ago. He was in an argument with his girlfriend, wife, whoever. And threw furniture off a balcony, almost hit a kid. A couple years before that, there was a...
That was in the hotel room, right?
Yeah, and there was 5... He has 5 kids. I don't think they're all by different women, but at least a couple of them are different. And one of them came to Antonio and asked him to pay for the kid's haircut. He pushed her on the ground. So, he's not...
What preceded that?
That was the story I was told.
I don't believe that. That is so... Why?
But that's the thing.
Why would he do that?
Crazy.
I understand that, but come on now. What's a haircut? $20?
Maybe it was a really...
He probably... The only reason he probably got mad is like, I only have $100s in my wallet. I don't have a 20. And I'm not giving you $100. No.
I'm just saying.
I understand. And I understand why he probably has problems with women. He did play with Ben Roethlisberger for a long time. Maybe it rubbed off on him.
Funny.
It's not funny, but it's true. I'm not letting it go. Why has everyone else forgot that he's creepy in bathrooms? Anyway. And he's got a friend that watches the door. Anyway, let's get back on topic. Antonio Brown. I don't know what he did. I don't know what... Like I said, 2 stories, truth somewhere in the middle.
He said, she said is... He's gonna lose this case.
Oh, for sure. He might as well just sign the check now. all he's doing is wasting his time.
What if she's been trying to get her money? Because this happened in 2017, 2018. What if she's been trying to get her money?
Oh, for sure. That's why she's coming out. Yeah. Here's the thing. We kind of mentioned it a little bit ago about Drew Rosenhaus. Reason I don't like him. Did you watch the interview?
Yep.
He's such a douche.
He's such a douche.
Like he was like. So what he was saying was, if he didn't watch it, was he was trying to say that he's got 5 kids, blah blah blah. He's got a girlfriend, all this shit. What does that matter?
It doesn't.
When does that ever matter?
He's still a piece
Have
of
you
shit.
ever heard of serial killers who were like There's a guy named Dennis Rader. He was known as a BTK killer. He was married. He had kids.
BTK?
BTK, bind, torture, kill.
Oh, good. Fun.
Oh, it's terrible. I'm into serial killers. It's a weird thing. They fascinate me because I need to know what drives a human being to be so callous with another person's life. It's fine. You can cut that out if you want. Anyway, he was married. He had kids, but he was also killing people. That doesn't. Having a family does not equate to what the evilness also, you have inside you.
So he was being interviewed, not the first take interview, because there's a first take interview. The one after the allegations came out.
Rosenhaus or Brown?
Rosenhaus.
I would say, has Antonio actually addressed this yet?
Not
smart. That's actually a good move.
Right. But Drew was interviewed by, I don't remember her name. I think it was Carrie Champion on one of the ESPN's 100 shows.
What a cool last name.
Right? And Kentucky's running back is like something smoke. Like, you don't want the smoke?
He better be elusive as shit.
Slippery dog.
He better
anyway,
be.
But Rosenhaus was so dismissive. Like, she's asking him this question. She's like, well, Drew, why? Like, she's asking him professional questions. He's like, it's a money grab. We're not worried about it. I'm like, you're talking to a female, right? Like, be respectful, first of all. And second of all, at least pretend you care. At least he was just blowing her off. Well, and she's clearly fed up with it.
And I understand that it's your client, and you naturally, automatically have to take his side on everything. But you don't also have to be super dismissive to this is a serious thing.
Yeah.
This isn't like, fucking he stole a candy bar, and we caught him on camera. No, this is literally a woman that you possibly made unsolicited sexual advances to, and, like, this isn't a joke. And that's why I don't like Drew Rosenhaus. Yeah. And then he reminded me that I don't like him.
Yeah.
With this interview. Because remember when he used to represent T.O. and he used to just say ridiculous things?
He's got 27 million reasons not to.
Yeah. Whatever. Shut up. Get off. I know this is your job, but you are terrible. You are terrible at just being a human being. You can't be this. All right. You don't have to take it 1,000% serious, but come on, you kind of do. Like I said,
it's not like you said.
You didn't smack a little random kid on the sidewalk because he was bad mouthing you. You know what I mean?
What are you talking?
I don't know. That's a weird example.
A horrible example.
But like you didn't spank somebody else's kid when they were at your house because they did something bad. You literally made unsolicited sexual advances at somebody. Possibly.
According to him, they were having consensual intercourse at some point. They had a real ass relationship. And then things happened within the relationship, I guess, that she didn't like, that she felt were unsolicited. I don't know.
Unsolicited, unwarranted.
Who knows?
All the other fancy words
she's filed civil charges and all that jazz. So anyway, let's stop talking about Antonio Brown because he's a piece of shit.
And I could literally badmouth him all day.
Yeah, because he's terrible.
He's a terrible person.
And regardless of whether he did or not, he's still a bad person.
Yeah, take that away, still also, not a good person.
I wanted to go... Okay, so Shannon Sharp said...
Here we go.
He was talking about the Patriots, but we're still going to talk about him.
Well,
he's like, so you know how the Patriots keep disgruntled people like Josh Gordon. They brought in Albert Hainsworth. They
Randy
brought
Moss.
in all these people who've had checkered pasts. So, and a lot of them stay with Tom Brady, and you find out these bad things that Robert Kraft did.
Supposedly did, but he got dismissed.
Supposedly.
Yeah, because he paid somebody off.
Oh, hell yeah. But what if you keep around like-minded folk? What if these guys aren't as nice and stand-up as we think they are?
What if the Patriots are just really good at covering it up?
What if the Patriots and, for example, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady have demons and skeletons in their closet that we just don't know?
It's possible.
You keep around people...
Tom Brady does have rape face.
What?
Look at him. He doesn't look creepy to you?
He looks creepy because he kisses his kid on the mouth.
He's creepy. Robert Kraft?
Oh, he's obviously creepy.
Tell me, the instant you heard it, you're like, yep. That's exactly what happened. Yep.
Either way, I'm just saying this was a point I'd never thought of, is that what if they're keeping around like-minded folk? And they can keep him under control.
I think it's not so much that. I just think that their PR firm, maybe they're just really good at hiding the bullshit. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Hey, one last thing.
Do we have anything else to talk about?
No, not on my list, but one more thing. Kevin Hart was in a serious accident.
Saw that.
It was a badass car. It was a 69 Barracuda.
The top is off.
That had a Hellcat engine put into it, but apparently it didn't have the right safety mechanisms. It didn't have a 5-point harness. It didn't have, and I guess in California and in a lot of places, if it's over a certain horsepower, it has to have a 5-point harness. There was a couple other states. It didn't have a roll cage, and so it's being looked at. And the shop that made it might get in trouble, and they might have to change laws to get it fixed. But he broke his spine in 4 places. He had his vertebrae fused together. They said he's doing well. He's making progress, but he's got.
They said he had vocal cord damage.
I didn't know anything about that.
Said he had vocal cord damage. It might be permanent.
So
if he speaks differently, that might be why.
So
I'm glad he's
on the road to recovery.
Did you see what the Rock, what he said on that?
He's talking about my son.
He's like, before that, he's like, don't scare me like that.
The Rock and him are really good friends, and The Rock actually cut his honeymoon short and went on. Some lady has a new talk show or something, and Kevin Hart was the first guest, and since he couldn't make it, The Rock flew out in his place and talked to him about it and spoke for him. So,
have you seen the new preview for the new Jumanji?
No.
It might be better than the first one.
The first one was decent.
Danny DeVito and Donald Glover, Danny Glover played.
Who's Danny Glover?
I'm too old for this shit. You ever seen any of the Lethal Weapons?
Yes.
The black guy.
Hey, so, confession? I hate Danny DeVito and everything he's a part of.
Why?
Danny DeVito's the worst.
He's not great.
The Penguin is the only thing I like him in, and that was fucking creepy.
You don't like that?
Nope.
You don't like him?
Nope. I hate Danny DeVito.
He's not in it very long.
He's not funny.
He's not in it very long.
He's not cute.
So, essentially, I mean, it's not really even a spoiler. You can see it in the trailer. So they go back in the game, obviously, but they're not the same. The only one that's the same is Karen Gillian,
the redhead.
She's the only one that's the same. I think Kevin Hart is Danny Glover, and Jack Black is the tall.
The Rock.
No, the black guy, the tall black kid. I don't know.
So the tall black guy becomes Jack Black.
Yeah, and I can't remember them all, but yeah. So you got The Rock plays Danny Glover, which is fucking amazing, and then Kevin Hart plays Danny DeVito. It's awesome. It looks amazing. You have to watch the trailer after we're done recording.
I will do that.
That's good.
But we'll look at it anyway. I think that's all I got. I can't think of anything else. If I do, we'll talk about it next week. But. We've got a Facebook, we've got a Twitter, we've got a YouTube.
And we're all current minus episode 10.
So episode 10 for some reason won't upload.
It's too long for the software that I use. I'm going to keep trying some different things, but still, 1 through 13 minus 10 is on there.
And you can find 10 on Google Play, you can find it on the website, you can find it on Facebook and Twitter. You can find episode 10 in a lot of other ways.
We're looking into getting an Instagram. I don't really know
that sounds
I don't know what we do. I don't post on my own, and I know you don't.
What am I going to take pictures of?
Whatever the week's topic is this week.
My list?
No, like we talked about Antonio Brown. Could have a picture of his stupid face on there.
I'm not promoting that.
Or
whoa! Did you know Michael Jordan's selling a chunk of the Hornets?
Good.
He's still in basketball control, and he still owns the majority of the team.
Do you need money? You broke? You broke, Jordan, with your $1 billion? You broke?
Did you see Michael Jordan is the number 1 selling shoe by $100 million?
So, you know what bothers me? That dude could do nothing for the rest of his life.
Have you seen the new Jordans? Oh my. They're so nice. They're beautiful.
Oh, they're good? Okay.
They're so cool.
Because some of them are ugly.
Some of them.
Like all of LeBron's shoes.
Have you seen my shoes? They're dope as hell. They're the most comfortable shoe I've ever worn in my life.
Do they have a 23 on the side?
Yeah.
Do you know that he wouldn't be 23 if it wasn't for the original 23?
So he wouldn't have made 23 his own?
That's why he can't be the GOAT.
That's why?
No. Anyway, follow us on Facebook at Flexing Nerd.
Twitter.
Flexin Nerd is on Twitter.
I say it wrong sometimes too.
YouTube at Flexing Nerd Podcast.
Hey, and if you didn't know, I didn't mention it last week, but some of the topics we talk about, like some of the videos I discuss or articles I reference, I do put them in the description. So depending on where you're at, I think it's only on the actual website, the Buzzsprout link that I put on Facebook and Twitter. If you click on that and go in the description of the podcast, there are links you can click on so you can go see them for yourself if you want.
You can send them to me. I can link them in the YouTube.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Or just tell me what you do, and then I'll do it. I essentially let you do all the work, and then I just piggyback. It's pretty much the whole podcast. That's how it is. That's how it works.
I appreciate you spending another week with us. We'll
Episode
be back next
14
week.
done.
Again, a week behind, so we'll talk about all the stuff on week 2. We'll talk about that next Saturday.
Yep.
Anyway, take it easy, and we'll
Did
talk
you
to you.
take it easy?
Take it easy.
Oh, no, there was an extra Z in there somewhere.
Easy Z's.
I'm sorry.
Z is,
terrible.
Z is for zebra. Anyway, we'll talk to you soon.
What?
What, dog?
Z is for zebra.
Listen, did you ever play the alphabet game when you were in school, where you had to, or your first day of school, you had to introduce yourself and talk about a food that goes with your name of your...
Nope.
I always had zebra cakes, dog, because there's nothing else. Zucchini, nobody likes zucchini.
You can't even say xylophone because that starts with an X. Why?
No, X, dog. Ooh, I hate puns.
I don't. I love
have you
so
ever
much.
seen the show American Ninja Warrior, or any of the Ninja Warriors for that matter?
No.
Bro, they're terrible. All the announcers do is make puns, and the people make puns, and the contestants are pun.
So you're telling me you don't find them to be punny?
I'll stop this podcast, and I don't mean this episode. I mean, I'll cancel this shit. Anyway, we'll see you guys later.
Later.